got him.
And let's look at the celebration.
Oh, great goal, it's a collision. Oh, hang on, is he okay?
Hello and welcome to day 2 of the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. I'm Catherine Loughnane from Fox Sports Australia, and I'm pleased to say that we've had no rain this morning, so we're ready to get underway for Game 3 between the Hung Hom JD Jaguars and Hong Kong Island United. Standing alongside me is the match referee, Matt Stiller, Hung Hom JD Jaguars captain, Kinshit Shah, and for the very first time, it's great to have you here, Misbah Ul-Haq, captain of the Hong Kong Island United. Well, Kinshit, you have the honours, so please take it away.
Heads. Heads is a goal. And it's a tail.
I'd like to bowl first.
You like to bowl first, and your reason being?
I mean, obviously in the yesterday's match, City Catholic scored 199 and it got chased down quite easily in 14 overs. The wicket looks good. I don't think it's going to deteriorate over the 2 innings, so that's our reason.
And can we expect another big score from Darren Sammy, do you think?
Hopefully. He's looking fresh again. He's looking in good touch. So, yeah, looking for some big shots today.
All the best.
Yeah.
All the best, Kinshit.
Thank you.
And Misbah, welcome to recreational ground. What are your first thoughts?
Boundaries are a bit smaller, but still I think you need to play better cricket to win here, to perform better. So looking forward, especially some of the exciting games yesterday, and looking forward to score some runs here.
Heading into this tournament, what were your expectations?
Yeah, it is always excitement when you're coming to these sort of tournaments, especially places where cricket is now just being started, and especially that a lot of stars here from different countries, big stars you could say of T20 cricket, so it's always fun to just come and play with them, and some of the youngsters from Hong Kong who's been now emerging at international level, so it's always good to just share the dressing room with these guys and come and play with some of the players from other countries.
I think they're pretty excited about sharing the dressing room with you, Misbah. All the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, there we have it. The JD Jaguars have won the toss and elected to bowl.
Yes, and welcome to Ting Kwong Road Recreation Ground here for Match 3, Day 2 of the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz, and it is the Hung Hom JD Jaguars against Hong Kong Island United, and as you heard from Catherine there, the JD Jaguars have won the toss and elected to bowl first. What a thrill to have such great overseas stars. We saw that man entertain the crowd yesterday. Darren Sammy, it's a cloudy day, but he's got the sunglasses on. And George Munsey from Scotland. Out there, he's familiar with these grounds, played against Hong Kong. And he's with a fellow Brit in Ian Bell. Fresh off some good form in the Big Bash. Here we go, first ball to be bowled by Johan Botha. Defended, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome here in commentary the head coach of the Hong Kong team, who's able to sit back and watch this tournament, Simon Cook. Simon, welcome.
Morning, Max. Yeah, it's very nice actually to be able to sit back and enjoy watching a bit of cricket. Munsey off the mark, and yeah, from my point of view, it's nice just to sit back and really watch our national team players and also national A players get involved in amongst some of the greats in world cricket. And this man on your screen right now, Johan Botha, played an important role for the Jaguars yesterday in their victory, in making sure that he bowled very smartly on this slightly used pitch, but he used his pace really well, and you can see by how he's manipulating the field here, he's very switched on, very smart cricketer, and it's what our national team boys need to learn from. Again, Bell off the mark. pretty quickly there. I think it's going to be interesting. The game yesterday with the Kowloon Cantons really setting a marker in the sand for past scores here, really. Chasing down 199 in about 16 overs yesterday. Just really proved that how small the ground is and how good the wicket is.
Oh, the reverse sweep and well timed. That's 4 runs. Fantastic shot there from Munsey. And we saw Anshman Rath play one that was probably a level up from even that shot yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. And like we say, this is about learning, and our national players, our domestic players here really standing up and saying, you know, we deserve and we can compete at the same level. And the reverse sweep there is one of George Munsey's favourite shots. Pace off there, a little bit of spin on there again, showing Boat is a smart cricketer. The field was set there for they had a deep point out for George Munsey with that reverse sweep, but he backs himself with it, and it's come off on that occasion.
It's a slice by Bell, but he's managed to get it into the gap. Yeah, it's pretty quick. A good diving effort, but it's a little bit premature. The pants are down, and it's also gone for 4. Neenad Shah, a moment that may be repeated at a later time.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be in the highlights package somewhere along the line. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate there. He's done all the hard effort. He's made the dive, but then he's just timed it slightly wrong there. So that is definitely probably going to make it onto YouTube at some point. So a good start from the Island United team. 7 off the first over. Looking to get a solid partnership. And we're going to look to have, I believe, Mohamed Naveed is going to come on. He bowled well yesterday. Again, showed that he's still quite a slippy bowler. Got some good Yorkers up there. I think the challenge on this pitch is, for the seamers in particular, is to find the right length that they can bowl where they can contain the batters. We saw yesterday that when the quick bowlers in particular got slightly too full and over pitched into a half volley length, or let the batters get onto the front foot, it was very easy for them to hit through the line, and with the small straight boundaries they got punished. So it's interesting to see if they adapt in these games after having one game yesterday. False start there, someone moving behind the sight screens. Just about set for the second over. Shade there, nearly run out. Good bit of running. So Max, you saw the games yesterday. It was pretty tough to work out a pass score with a reduced game in the first, reduced overs game, down to 11 overs in the first game, and then a full game in the second. But both of them very high scoring.
Yesterday, you're almost saying you're going to need over 200 to defend scores. We saw 146 in 11 overs be enough. But 200 wasn't in the full 20, so I think 220 is what you're looking for. A lot of the players yesterday did say that they were very impressed with the wicket, that it was very good for batting. So kudos to the ground staff for earning the compliments of these players that go all around the world and play on some of the best grounds there are.
Yeah, I think it's this is actually the pitch where the national team have played 2 one-day games against the Netherlands. Both games yielded over 600 runs, so it's got good pedigree. Bit of shape there for Naveed. With this Island United team, you know, we look down the list. There's some really good players. You wouldn't say there's many power players in this team. You know, the 2 guys out there at the moment, Bell and Munsey, are really good cricketers. But the power that Dwayne Smith in particular displayed yesterday would mean, yeah, the pass scores are going to be in the 180s. Full and straight.
Oh, geez. I thought that might have been going down the leg side, but it's been given. Was swinging back. Hit him on the full, but Ian Bell on his way.
Yeah, Naveed's just getting a little bit of outswing here. It's early morning start, a little bit overcast, so you know the regulation ball that we're using here does tend to swing early on for the first couple of overs, and he's just getting some outswing, which the ball before offered to swing out. That one a little bit fuller, may well have swung back to hit leg stump. We just have to look on a replay with that. Yeah, very, very full. Possibly coming back and hitting into the leg stump. It's hit him on the full. The new man coming in, Ehsan Khan, I believe. It's a very, very good start for the JD Jaguars, getting Hong Kong United, one of Hong Kong United's best players out. Ehsan Khan off the mark. First ball running down to third man. Brings George Munsey back onto strike. Like we were saying with Max just earlier, the pass scores are pretty high, and the way to restrict those scores is to get wickets, and with the wicket of Ian Bell, that's going to stunt the scoring rate a little bit, certainly in this power play. Ball moving around a little bit, it's going to be a little bit tough. First up, Hong Kong Island team, we've just got to battle down here with the swing, get off the ball, and then look to accelerate.
It's a good over from Mohammad Naveed. He's got the key wicket of Ian Bell.
Yeah, big wicket. One for 13 now off the first 2 overs, which is.
It's just going to have a look at the pitch that we were talking about a little earlier. This is the same wicket that was played on yesterday. It's a very good-looking surface, and it looks exactly the same as yesterday. I don't expect it to play any differently.
No, it's it is the same as yesterday. Same pitch as yesterday. Didn't really deteriorate that much yesterday, and I had a look at it this morning. It still feels really good, really solid, really firm. It's not really breaking up, so I expect another run-filled day. Around a reef into the attack.
Skids on, but skids straight down the leg side, and that's tucked away for 4.
Yeah, we spoke about lengths for seamers, and I think the length that Imran bowled yesterday was really, really good. He had some good success. He's tried to replicate that there, but he's just got the line slightly wrong there, and with fine leg up, it's a pretty easy low risk shot for 4 runs. It's good slip in, trying to attack a little bit. That's it, perfect line, perfect length, particularly with the slip in. Really drawing Ehsan Khan into that 4th stump line. Some smart captaincy here from Kinshit Shah. Again, in the development of our domestic players here, it's good to see Kinshit Shah, Anshuman Rath, Baba Hyatt, all captaining their franchises.
On the leg side, it's wide. But, Just looking through this Hong Kong Island United side. We had Ian Bell already back in the sheds. Hassan Khan out there at the moment. I'm assuming that Misbah Ul-Haq will be coming in next, you would think.
Yeah, you'd hope so. He'd be coming in. You want your best players facing the most amount of balls possible. So I think Hassan's probably come in to maybe get the scoring off to a flyer a little bit.
Quick single taken here by Hassan Khan, and good running. It'll be very interesting to see how the spinners go too. They've gone in with Badri and Ajmal and their overseas players.
Yeah, Hong Kong United are predominantly spin-based, and I guess that was, you know, part of their thinking when the draft was picked, knowing the pitches here at Mission Road, nice and firm and solid, and they do tend to offer the spinners a little bit. They predominantly gone in with spin. Okay, another great length by Imran, running his fingers across the ball every now and then, just trying to create something, forcing the batter into playing a rash shot or taking a risk. But yeah, the Hong Kong United, they're predominantly spin based. They've got a couple of seamers, Kyle Christie and Tani Afzal, both in the national squad. We'll look forward to seeing them later on. Tiny bit of width there, but great bit of fielding from Ninad Shah as Munzi slashes that one through backward point.
Yeah, great piece of fielding there. Shah making up for his pants down moment earlier in the day.
Yeah, that's right. You'd expect this side to be a good fielding side with Trevor Penny as their lead coach. So I think they work particularly hard on the fielding. Ninad Shah in particular works exceptionally hard on his fielding.
Side, a big appeal. Not given not out immediately, so I suspect John Ward had a little bit of a think about it.
There's obviously something there because no wide signalled. So just might have flicked the pad on the way through. But another really, really good over from the JD Jaguars. They're starting to turn the screw here in the first 6, which again comes back to the point made earlier about their team. It's the Island United team haven't got a lot of power, and they haven't got off to a particularly quick start. So they're going to have to start pushing forwards here a little bit, just to make sure they can get up to the 160, 180 mark. I think that ball's just brushed the pad on the way past. Naveed into his second over. Yeah, the Jaguars really in control here in this first power play. The man on your screen had a bowl yesterday, Darren Sammy. He came off the field halfway through the innings, so I'm not sure whether we'll see him bowl today. So the Jaguars might have to find an over or two from somewhere else. Again, a little bit of swing, and and just covers it off into mid-wicket. It's not a lot of intent at the moment from the Hong Kong Island batters. I think they probably need to start putting a little bit of pressure back onto the bowlers to try and get that loose delivery. There's Carter on your screen now. He's had a really good lead up into this tournament in domestic cricket and in international cricket for Hong Kong.
Smashed by Munzi. Beautifully played. Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a real loose ball, full toss, and let let Munzi off the rack there a little bit. Just could feel some really good pressure building, and whether he was going for a fuller ball or not, I'm not sure, but bit of a shame there. Try and make up for this. You've got to get back on that line and length. Munzi getting across the crease. He's trying to put a bit of pressure on. Back on Naveed. Bowler's up to it. Maintains his line and length. Hard into that hip. They've clearly spoken about plans from yesterday's game. They've got an advantage in having played it yesterday. How the pitch played, what lengths are hard, what lengths are not so hard. I think that's the important thing in T20 cricket. It's about summing up conditions as quickly as possible. Short ball there from Naveed, and Ehsan is well up to it, guiding the ball to the leg side boundary for 4 runs. The momentum is starting to shift now. 2 boundaries in this over. Both batters starting to increase the momentum, put the pressure back on the Jaguars. Pretty easy shot there. Very slow paced pitch. The shorter balls are a little bit more effective than the fuller ones, but we've got to try and make sure they're mixing up the pace a little bit and not becoming too predictable. And Naveed in again, under pressure to get out of this over. Again, comes back with a solid ball. Finishes it off fairly strong. Okay, looks like we're going to go with Imran Arif again. Start his second over. First over was very good, few wides, but first over was again very good example of being smart, understanding lines and lengths and the pitch.
Yeah, we got the trophy there, the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz.
That's what they're playing for.
Beautiful artistic shots from our executive producer, Gary Burchett. Ran a riff to continue here.
So it's interesting here. They're changing it now. They were going to go with third man up, which was a slight risk to George Munzi, who's very strong square of the wicket. Actually change that now. Excellent piece of running there. Rotating the strike. They've probably got to try and take on these last couple of overs in the power play, see if they can get to sort of 40 to 50 by the end of the power play. It can be 1 down. It sets them up quite nicely to start launching. It's been a bit more of a sedate start to this game than it was in the first 2 yesterday.
Yeah. Although we saw it in City Kaitak's innings, they were about 6 and over the first 8 overs and still got 200.
Yeah, and that's pretty a product of the small grounds here. You can catch up a little bit if you need to. And Ireland United here have consolidated well. They've restabilised. They get a platform going, and now it's going to be a case of starting to build on that platform. One of these two probably needs to bat fairly deep into this innings and let the others hit around him.
Definitely looked like Imran Arif is trying to limit the room. The batsman, either that or he's just been a little leg side-ish, but he's not allowing the batsman to free the arms through the offside.
Yeah, that's right. It's about T20 as a seamer. It is about trying to limit the batters to where they can score. If you can shut one side of the ground off, it's gonna help a lot. As I look to my right, I'm looking at Misbah just warming up, swinging a couple of bats there together. So I think he's He's wanting to hit a couple of big blows.
It's off the pad. That's going to be 4. Handy runs, and again, Imran Arif just erring down the leg side a little.
Yeah, it's Ehsan just trying to put a little bit of pressure back on the bowler, shuffling across the crease a little bit, coming into the bowler's channel, if you like. Does bring the fine leg into play a little bit more for either a leg bye, or if you can get a little bit of bat on it, it's going to go for 4. They're struggling a little bit to hit the ball in front of square, so it's kind of smart batting for him to change it up a little bit.
Big appeal, that's going to be close. Tom Ward says not out. That looked very close.
Double dive from Ehsan. He's dived in at the striker's end, and he's had to dive in at the non-striker's end, going for another run.
You can have a look at the replay here, and oh yeah, a bit little leg side-ish, but very close.
Probably sliding, and we see the first dive here. Then he's up for an overthrow, and he ends up having to dive in again at the non-striker's end. It was quite an eventful ball for just a leg bye. Brings Munzi onto strike, and I think he's probably going to start having that man on his shoulder, saying he needs to hit a couple of big blows. Could see a couple of big shots here. Down he comes, intense there.
Another good over there. Barring the leg by boundary, which was being given to zone. Score quickly moving on to 37.
Big appeal from Imran Arif.
Yeah, probably just sliding down, wasn't it? Here we go, hat-trick man from yesterday into the attack. Probably a bit more challenging time to bowl right now. Ashley Caddy came on yesterday and was bowling at the end of the innings, where they were needing to, the Galaxy Gladiators were needing to really go, almost 6 a ball, I think, when he came on, and he ended up being in the right place at the right time, picking up a hat-trick. His hat-trick ball, he ended up flat on the floor. So
yeah, he managed to get the day off work today. Ashley Caddy was initially with the Woodworm group, where he works here in Hong Kong. He wasn't going to have the time off, but in the end, after taking a hat-trick yesterday, he's managed to find a way to convince Simon Millington there at Woodworm to give him the day off as well today. Although he went, after that hat-trick, he went back to the office in the afternoon. So he did say it was a bit of a come-down after taking a hat-trick and playing in a winning match to open up the T20, the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz, to have to just go and sit at his desk at the office.
yeah, he's not the only one that would have gone back to work either. He's into bowl here, and Ehsan inside edge there through to mid-wicket and through for a single. And like I said, this is going to be a challenging time for him to bowl. It's a bit different to his overs yesterday. Batters are a little bit more set, and this will be a time where they'll probably look to try and target Ashley here. George Munzi will probably try and target him into the flats, either straight or towards mid-wicket. Just gonna have to be smart, keep his line here, mix his pace up. He's got a deep square, so he may bowl short. Smart bit of bowling. He's gone slower ball bouncer. Like I say, he's got that deep square protection out there, so very smart bowling, good plans. Talking there with the captain.
Hassan Khan up at number 3. Something you've ever considered with the Hong Kong team, pushing him up the top order?
No, it's actually a surprise move. I wouldn't have put him there myself, as George Munzi again tries to put pressure on the bowler by coming down. Comes back for the second. Ashley Caddy still up to it, changes pace up into the pitch, not giving him any width. Might look to see Chris Carter coming up to the stumps a little bit now, just to really ramp the pressure up a little bit on these batters who are starting to get a little bit stuck. And yeah, going back to your point about Essan, it was an interesting move. I can only imagine he's there to false start there. Fielder's in the wrong place. Fine leg comes up inside the ring. But yeah, I could only imagine they're worried a little bit about power, and they've looked to get him in there to try and accelerate the scoring. But it's not quite worked at the moment.
Once he steps back in the crease, doesn't make a great connection and picks up single into the deep mid-wicket boundary.
Yeah, and again you see that it's smart bowling, bowling to your field. If George Munsey there hits it over square leg's head from the ball that he's just bowled, then look, that's a good shot. He's bowling to his field. If George gets it slightly wrong, there's a chance of him getting a wicket. So smart bowling, good execution. He's obviously confident at the moment, having got a hat-trick yesterday and got 6 for 20 in the recent league game as well.
Khan has thrown everything at that, skewed off the inside edge.
Big heave. And there's probably a really good example for guys watching at home. The difference between very clean quality striking, which we saw yesterday from Dwayne Smith, and what could be described as a very agricultural shot there from Ehsan Khan, where he's just lost his shape a little bit and ended up getting a thick inside edge out to mid-wicket for 1 run. Because actually, if you can try and keep your shape, stay nice and calm under pressure, full face contact, you'll get your runs. There it is, there's the wicket. As a result of the pressure that's being built, George Munsey staying deep in the crease this time, trying to flat bat it over mid-off, and all he's done is end up getting it high on the bat, and Johan Botha then gets a good catch. It's actually a similar combination to what we saw yesterday with Anshuman Rath, his dismissal.
Yeah, looking to go onside, but skewed it to mid-off. And Ashley Caddy, and again, he's had the golden arm.
The wicket machine, he's quickly turning into the most successful bowler in this tournament. And that wicket's just purely come through pressure. Batters not being able to get those boundaries away, bowling really smartly and making the batter hit the ball to an area where it's not really in his percentages to hit there. We saw it again, like I mentioned, with Anshuman Rath yesterday. Anshuman was very happy with the deflections, and they ended up putting the fine legs and third man's back, so his deflections went out of the game. They forced him to hit straight, and it ended up with the result. And he's almost exactly the same way where Johan Botha takes a catch at mid-off.
We've got a change in the bowling here. James Franklin coming into the attack. I noticed that Darren Sammy hasn't bowled yet. He was struggling with a knee complaint yesterday. He was having treatment. Said after play that he was all right, but I just wonder if he'll be able to bowl.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's out there, so looks like he's
stand
moving
on one
okay.
leg and hit sixes. Might be the plan for him.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much running involved with these West Indian boys, is there? But yeah, I think he's obviously out there and is a vital cog in their team, certainly with the bat. They may have to find some additional overs here somewhere. Kinshit Shah can bowl, Ninad Shah can bowl, so there's plenty of spare options out there. This will be interesting here. Franklin 1 over for 23, I think, yesterday.
Take away the onside. Yeah, what about that innings from Darren Sammy yesterday? It was something to watch, wasn't it? 59, I think about 18 balls. It was a real treat.
Yeah, it's a mindset thing, isn't it? All three of the West Indies guys here that scored yesterday, scored significant runs yesterday. They've just got that really clear thinking.
It's hit in the air, and it's into the gap, so they might pick up a couple here. They do.
Khan on the ground again. His laundry bill's going to be good today. Yeah, they're just clean strikes to the ball. When the ball's in their area, they know they're gonna hit it out the ground, or they're gonna try and hit it out the ground. It's not a hack. The single there, it's going to be tight. Good clean pickup and direct hit here. There would have been, would have had Misbah struggling. Yeah, then it's clean striking, it's full face contact, solid positions. It's not head back swing, and that's something that, again, I'll come back to our domestic players here. It's what they need to look at and understand about the striking. It's clean, it's consistent, it's considered. They're taking good options for the right balls. It's not playing by numbers, which you often hear about in club cricket.
Certainly clean striking. It's going to be the theme of this tournament is the six. Although, like I say, it's been a slightly tamer start here. Just a lazy 7 and over in the first 6, which is the slowest start we've seen so far. But the players on the boundary may become irrelevant for this man, Misbah Ul-Haq, even if they are allowed out now.
Yeah, they're again, Jaguars smart here. There's a lot of experience in the side. Franklin's got a slip in here, a wide slip. Feel he can nick him off. Misbah not really renowned for his big hitting, so they're relying on him maybe nicking off first up. But yeah, fairly sedate start. 45 for 2, just into this 7th over. Franklin in again.
Lap sweep from Hassan Khan. He doesn't quite get hold of it, but he still pick up a single.
Picks up a single, but again, that's for me, it's a strange shot because you've got fine leg back. So you're playing quite a high risk shot for only 1 run. If you get it right, you also got a risk of potentially getting caught. So that it's probably not an option for me at the moment. Rather look to see him trying to flick it over maybe straight mid wicket. Coming in with the swing.
Ball from Franklin.
You see Misbah just poking it down the ground. Misbah will just take a bit of time here just to get set before looking to try and take on a couple of these boundary options. This is great for someone like Hassan Khan to be batting with Misbah Ul-Haq. Conversations that they'll be having out there, the target scores that they'll be looking at. You know, we're sitting in here saying it's a sedate start, but actually, you know, the wicket may be playing slightly differently. It might be a bit tacky in there, early morning start. You know, we're here at 10 o'clock in the morning, starting now. The seamers look like they're controlling the game a little bit. Sammy's having a bit of a dance there. He's a proper character, isn't he?
Yeah, great entertainer.
Very smart cricketer, though. Very, very smart cricketer. And they've actually got probably 3 of the really switched-on cricketers in world cricket, particularly in this format, in Sammy Franklin and Johan Botha. You see Johan Botha talking to Ashley Caddy at the top of his mark here. This is a situation where I'd actually like to see Kinchit involved in that conversation as captain. He should be there trying to understand it as a learning platform more than anything.
Ashley Caddy here to continue. Short and wide, and Misbah just gently guides it. Back to Nazaka Khan on the boundary.
Again, cutter, slower ball, back of a length, gets it into the pitch.
What do you think Hong Kong United will feel about their start here, Simon?
Again, I don't know what the messages are coming off. You'd hope there'd be some messages coming back saying that the wicket's pretty sticky and we're going all right. I think they're a bit slow, personally. I think they probably need to be a little bit further on.
Sankan dances down the track, hits it in the air, and it's cut off by Johan Botha, who mops up from around it long on.
And the reason I think they're a bit slow is just because of the power that comes back end of their innings isn't quite there. And they probably need to be able to take better or manufacture better use of the first 6 when the field restrictions are in. I think that's probably their best option. going forwards. I think actually Caddy's done really well here. He's got a set plan. It's very clear. Field changes for each batter, and he's executed really, really well so far.
Oh, this field from Sammy, and it costs him an overthrow. You can see him limping there as he moves for that ball.
Yeah, you're probably not going to see him bowl, I wouldn't think. He's livid with himself there for that misfield.
That'll be a bit of a blow for the Jaguars. I thought that he would definitely have been in the plans to bowl 4 overs, but he looks quite uncomfortable there.
I think he was in the plan to bowl 4 overs originally when they looked to sign him.
That's hammered away from Misbah Ul-Haq. Into the gap. Yes, it is. That's 4. HK just dropping a bit short there, and it doesn't have the pace to worry a man of Misbah Ul-Haq's experience.
It's just more about his line. You know, the Pakistani players in particular are very, very good with their wrists, and they can generally mess around with your fielders on the square boundaries quite easily. It just needs to get that line fractionally outside off stump, fourth stump line going across. That's it, much better. Less comfortable when the ball's outside their eye line. So I think, yeah, the Kinchit's got a bit of head scratching to go on if he's got to find Sammy's 4 overs from somewhere. So we may see Kinchit bowl, we may see Ninad bowl.
Yeah, just looking through the Jaguars lineup, Johan Bota, Caddy bowling at the moment, Franklin, Mohammed Naveed. I guess they'll just have to hope that no one gets taken. Otherwise, they do have as a backup, Nazakat Khan and Ninad Shah, who could potentially bowl a few overs.
Yeah, you see Ninad warming up there. You see,
yeah.
So they may go with a left arm option. It's interesting here that we've got obviously Franklin and Ashley Caddy bowling two left armers, different angle. There's trends around in T20 cricket, moving through the periods of time that T20's been in evolution, and left armers become in vogue at some point, and then they'll drift out. The ball spinning away from the batters at the moment is in vogue at the moment. So leg spinners, left arm spinners, ball spinning away from right-handed batters is the way people are looking to go at the moment. Again, another excellent example of an outstanding line and length James Franklin's found on this pitch. Big tall man gets a little bit of bounce. Some patchy grass on this pitch, which makes it a little bit too paced. Ireland United batters just seem to be happy rotating the strike here. Not too worried about trying to get hitting some big blows. They may feel 160 may be enough. Again, turn around the corner for 1 run. It's a nice time to bowl this. It really is in T20. If you've got 2 players that are just happy just to tick it around, it's a really nice time to bowl.
Take a 6 and over economy rate.
Oh, happy days. You just want to get your 4 overs done. I hope the captain doesn't take you off. Just try and snag a couple of wickets, and just try and really dry up the batters here. A very sedate pace of today's game at the moment. Oh, and that's as Hassan Khan trying to ramp the ball down the leg side, and I think that comes off the outside edge and goes past the, almost over first slip. Oh, there you go. Leading edge almost. And the boundary sizes here are so small, it's almost a catch. Ashley Caddy down at third man, desperate dive. Standing right next to his coach, Trevor Penny. He'll be probably having a few words there about that effort.
Wry smile from James Franklin. Well, that's edged and taken.
There's that bounce we were talking about earlier. James Franklin, tall man, a little bit of bounce, and what we were saying earlier, they're running the ball around and not looking in too much trouble. But you lose a couple of wickets in this phase, and suddenly you're right behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, no, James Franklin just got to keep picking up those wickets. Hassan Khan just struggled to find his timing out there today.
Yeah, it's just hit one of those little grassy patches, and on that grassy patch it does kick through a little bit. So there is a little bit two-pace nature in this pitch for the seamers, which is why it's important that you do hit the pitch nice and hard and on a nice straight length.
Hassan Khan just talking with Syed Ajmal there. See, 23 off 23 for Hassan Khan. So,
yeah, and like we said earlier, I wasn't quite sure of his role. I didn't know whether he'd come in to try and get the innings going a little bit, which I would have thought would have been what would have happened.
Damien Yee there, the Cricket Hong Kong Dragons player, was running the helmet out for Chris Carter. So, who's going to come up to the stumps. And Munir Dar certainly can strike a lusty blow.
Yeah, he's
former Hong Kong player.
He's a useful player. Hits the ball in funny areas, gets his reverse sweeps going, lap sweeps. So he can be quite frustrating player to bowl at. And here we go. We're going to see Ninad Shah into the attack. It's slightly a surprise that he's bowling ahead of Kinchit or Nazakit. Particularly, he's bowling at the short side as well, hitting towards the short boundary into the flats here. You'd have thought he maybe had a little bit of protection. He's probably not thanking his brother at the moment, but we'll soon see how he goes. Not much spin there. Not seen much spin at all. Certainly yesterday, really spin when you bowled normal pace, but you had to really take a lot of pace off it for it to actually get any sort of grip. So I think the fact that Ninad's bowling here probably rules Sammy out from bowling any overs in this innings.
Yeah, I think once he limped for a ball that just dribbled past him, that was a sign that he wouldn't be able to bowl, but obviously confident enough he can still do a job with the bat. Nidar goes for the sweep. It's very close. Says not out.
The ball sliding down. It's not like we saw on the first ball. There's no spin. So I think he's asking a lot there for it to spin back, but confident appeal there from Ninad. It's wide on the crease as well, which promotes an angle sliding down if it's not going to spin.
Misbah backs away and managed to thread it through the gap. That'll be 4. Classy shot. Head down towards the Peroni Boundary Club that will be open from tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to seeing the party on in that part of the ground over the weekend.
Quite a few people eyeing that tent up, I have to say, yesterday and probably through today. So looking forward to the Peroni tent opening up tomorrow morning. This is kind of playing into Hong Kong Island United's favour here. You've got two players who play spin really well. And it just might get Misbah going here. He's been fairly tame so far. That last shot through extra cover was probably his first shot in anger.
So the batting from Munir.
Yeah, like we say, Munir, he hits the ball in strange areas. He's still very quick between the wickets. He's a smart cricketer. And he's completed a rare 2 on this quite small ground here at Ting Kwong Road. Sweeps away. Again, push hard. Probably come back for 2 again. Carter tidying up the throw from Imran Arif. Score moves on to 75.
Yeah, the players have been having some good fun out here in the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. There's been plenty of smiles, plenty of relaxed faces from our overseas stars, and saw this a little earlier from Darren Sammy, just getting in the groove of the tunes that are being played with DJ Sasha, who's flown over from India to come and DJ here. And Sammy's clearly appreciative. I'm sure over his course of his stay here in Hong Kong, he will be able to dance a little more.
Yeah, I'm sure his leg might get a bit of a workout after this tournament. The bars of bit of a hesitation there, and nearly another run out.
Yeah, I think a few of the players last night went to the Happy Valley Racecourse in, of course, one of the great things to do for a visitor to Hong Kong, all of those that live here.
Well, if you come to Hong Kong, you can't not go to the races.
Yeah, fantastic atmosphere at the racetrack. I think some of the Jaguars players went and checked it out last night.
Nice shot down the ground from Misbah. Gets himself another run. Big talk here between 4 of the Jaguars players. Trying to work out who's going to bowl next. Here we see the scorecard. George Munsey falling to Ashley Caddy. Johan Boda for 18 earlier on. Ian Bell out early on. Mohammed Naveed, LBW. Chris Carter taking the catch of James Franklin of SN Khan for 23. And then we have the 2 batters in at the moment. Munir Dar, who's on strike, and Misbah Ul-Haq, who's at the non-strikers end. Oh, and a misfield there from Ninad Shah. It's been a bit up and down in this innings. He's a 50-50 at the moment. It's a good bit of fielding followed by a misfield or a fumble.
So far in this tournament, Simon, I imagine you're keeping a close eye on the Hong Kong players as well. All the talk is about the overseas stars, which is only natural, but Misbah knocks that one down to fine leg. But domestic players, who's impressed you so far?
Anshuman Rath yesterday, again very impressive. Stood up, did not look out of place whatsoever in and amongst all these international stars. Played a really good innings yesterday. SN Nawaz bowling in a game which, in an innings which conceded 200 runs, he went at 6 and over, which was outstanding. Big swing there from Munir Dar, trying to take on the smaller or the bigger boundary towards the softball stand. Who else has done well? Those 2 are probably the ones that really, for me, really stand out. There's been some flashes of talent. Bubba's a couple of overs that he batted yesterday, he looked really good. Again, another great length from James Franklin, not giving Munir any room or width or length to swing his hands through. Ninad's going to try and tie this up now. Back up that really good over, and this is where the wickets can really start to come when you're bowling good partnerships. Really ramp the pressure up. You see Tani Afzal there ready with his helmet on. It looks like he's going to be the next one in. He can strike a clean ball. Again, big powwow between Sami, Bota, Kinchit Shah and Ninad Shah. Going with Ninad again. And this is, that picture right there is exactly what this tournament for me as a national coach is all about. It's having those two great players with amazing experience standing there talking to those two young national cricketers about the game, about the situation, what's going to happen, where to bowl, and what to do in these situations. I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's a little bit harsh.
Shake of the head from Ninad Shah. He's not too impressed.
I reckon he's got a case there.
Cut away from Misbah.
No, again, he's trying to be smart. He's trying not to float it up. He wants to be cut basically to Nazakit Khan out on the deep cover boundary. That's what he wants to be done, and I think he executed two balls there correctly, but unfortunately he got wide for it.
Hit down the ground. Pretty unique that in this match I don't think we've had a six. Simon Cook, after it rained sixes yesterday, Ian Thompson almost permanently had his arms in the air. Not just as yet the Hong Kong Island United side happy to take the route along the deck.
Yeah, they seem happy just to tick along.
There we go. Commentator's curse bangs into the side screen, and that's a six from Misbah Ul-Haq.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I think it's a slight risk to keep certainly an inexperienced spinner going at someone like Misbah, who plays spin very, very well. And you can see there he's almost just deferred away from the plan where he was trying to just bowl almost short and wide and get cut. He's now actually gone twice. He's gone at the stumps, and once he got hit through mid-wicket here for one run, which got Misbah on strike, and then that one he's paid the price. There you go, he's just gone wide again. Okay, he's going fuller, but he can maintain and control a little bit with Nazakit, who's out there, who's very, very quick and has got a very strong arm. Try and control it.
Yeah, we'll just take another look at that six from Misbah Ul-Haq. That's a beautiful shot, and didn't it thud into the side screen? Look, you can even see it's taken some paint off the side screen there.
It's kind of just about the perfect scenario, isn't it? From an organisation perspective, it's a great shot, hit really, really hard and stayed in the ground.
Yeah, that's a massive bonus. Again, Ninad Shah going with that shorter, wider panel. That's a poor misfield there. Is that Ashley Caddy, the guilty party there?
Yeah, Ashley Caddy there. Just at short 45. Might have been a plan to get Munir back on strike, I'm not sure.
Ashley Caddy there, ooh.
So he's not gone down early enough and not got himself set. Ended up hitting his knee and ricocheting off another run. A very, very good over for Hong Kong Island. It's kind of where they really need to start accelerating now, I think. They probably need to hit at least one boundary and over from now on in to get themselves up to a really competitive score. And we saw yesterday how explosive the Jaguars batting can be. Misbah's in here, 28 off 19. Just starting to tick. And Munir is 9 off 9. So the partnership's there. The partnership is set. 7.5 and over, just over. They just need to really start ramping it up now.
I think so the last 8 overs to see us home in this innings. Going to have a commentary change now. Going to hand over to Charlie Burke and with him Peter Miller.
And hello there, Peter Miller here, and as soon as I sit down, there's an absolutely massive, massive 6 that's well caught in the crowd.
Yeah, that's Munna's favourite area, that, Munia Dar. Any bit of length there, he'll always look to go long on in mid-wicket, his favourite zone.
The cow corner, oh, that is a superb catch in the crowd. Well done, man. That's great.
He's pretty happy with himself there. Giving his mate a bit of a handhold, celebration.
That was a nice ball from Franklin.
Yeah, excellent comeback there from Franklin. So these are Misbah's just sort of eased into his innings, showing that poise, and Munia starting to look dangerous. He's got plenty of experience in this format. He's also been very good in the Hong Kong team at this level, as well as the Hong Kong Sixers.
Same shot again there.
Yeah, he's looking for that length. He will want to go through that mid-wicket, long-on region.
So as someone who's been so deeply involved in the development of Hong Kong cricket, how exciting is it for your young players, bearing in mind how young the Hong Kong national squad is, to be exposed to this kind of cricketing talent here?
Oh, yeah, it's incredible for them. Yeah, not only on the field but off the field as well, just spending time with people like Franklin and Sammy and Misbah and these sorts of guys. So just Misbah just flicking that one off his hip. They're going to go for 2 here. Good bit of running there from Misbah. Yeah, it's been, I think, particularly for a younger player such as Ninad, who was bowling from the other end, and even someone like an Ashley Caddy who's on the verge of playing for Hong Kong. It's good for them, for their experience and their development to be out there playing alongside these guys. Makes a big difference in their careers.
I suppose one of the more exciting things, I suppose, about what Ashley Caddy brings is the fact that with it being a left arm over that can generate some pace, that gives you something very different, doesn't it, to be able to work with. A slightly different angle can make a difference. Things can be a bit samey, especially in the limited overs formats with batsmen looking to line people up.
Yeah, definitely. We don't actually have a lot of left armers in Hong Kong. We've got Niaz Ali from USRC Cricket Club and Ashley Caddy from Cowling Cricket Club. They're really the only left arm seam bowlers we've got in Hong Kong. So he's not going to give much width there, Franklin, with 3 fielders on the leg side on the boundary. And that's end of the over there, and Hong Kong Island United 102 for 3. 13 overs gone. I'm going to assume they're going to start going for it here.
How long is our man in the crowd that took that catch going to be dining out on that, do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I think his phone's going to be busy, and he's going to be making sure that there's a highlight of that maybe on his Facebook or something like that, so anyone that did miss it can watch it. He's going to change a bowler here from the line rock end. Looks like it's going to be Naveed, who really burst on the scene really in that World Cup in Australia and New Zealand for UAE. So good to see the associate cricketers here. We've got 3 from Scotland, 1 from the UAE.
And of course, Mr. Vala from Papua New Guinea is the 5th.
Yep, the Asad Vala, or Asadola Vala, as his full name. He's from Hanuabada in Papua New Guinea. So excellent batsman. He missed out yesterday. Got run out, a good run out actually, from the JD Jaguars wicketkeeper Chris Carter.
of course, wicketkeeper and opening batsman for your national side. He's doing well. He's only 19 as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the players Hong Kong born. Father's a pilot, so was brought up here and then moved to Australia for his study and came back about 2 years ago, and we're pretty excited when we found out that he was Hong Kong born. Good to get as many Hong Kongese people in the squad. So Naveed in attacking the stumps to Munir Dar.
Something I've heard from an associate cricket point of view is lots of people have been talking about whether or not Papua New Guinea should be playing in 50-over domestic stuff for Australia. Do you think that would be something that would be good for their development?
Absolutely. I think I think we saw the European countries, how much they developed when they were in the county competition. It's a shame actually to see them not still involved, but Namibia play in South Africa's second-tier competition, their 3-day competition. So Naveed, nice and full, beats it between the batter's legs and leg stump through the keeper Carter.
It's hugely important now that Hong Kong Island United try and launch from here. We saw what kind of scores are possible on this pitch yesterday, where we saw some amazing fireworks, a 31-ball 100 from Dwayne Smith. There was 28 runs in the first over in that particular game as he looked to clear the front leg and just absolutely punish the ball straight down the ground. And that's 6 more, almost into the DJ tent. I don't think they were necessarily paying attention there.
That's a good, lovely strike there again. Again, that's just that length. Just can't bowl that length to Munir Dar. He'll always look to hit in that zone. It's hit the scoreboard there and not too far away from us either, Peter.
It's our lovely little box. Very comfortable in here, Charlie.
Yeah, Max and I were calling it the commentary booth yesterday, or the commentary hut. It's an attractive looking booth.
Shed would be unfair.
Yeah, it's definitely not a shed. It's
made
a few alterations overnight to get a bit more of a look at the ground. It's pretty important when you're commentating, being able to actually see what's going on.
It does help. It does help. Yeah, Naveed is one of the really impressive associate bowlers. You know, has caused trouble for pretty much every team he's faced.
Flick off his pads there for 4 through deep square, right in front of the DTC mobile sign over there. Just starting to get going here, Hong Kong Island United.
It's just, I always think when you meet the top international cricketers, it's just the calmness of presence they have. You know, no matter what the situation is, nothing seems to bother them. And Misbah's pretty much the personification of that, really, isn't it? And again, if we're talking about these young up-and-coming cricketers being exposed to that kind of thing, you can't ask for a better example to follow than Misbah.
No, absolutely. And this is really building his innings here as Naveed goes in at Misbah. Ul-Haq again. Flicks it to mid-wicket. Big call of no there and fielded there by Jonathan Fu.
Jonathan was here for last year's tournament as well, wasn't he? A West Indian of Chinese descent, but been deeply involved in Hong Kong cricket, I believe.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's played a bit of club cricket here, and he played for the Independence side in Premier League 11 competition. Got a cut from memory. I think he got 2 centuries in there. He only had about 4 innings, but very explosive batsman. He's actually a very useful bowler. He mixes his offies up. He's got a lot of change in his bowling. As we go to some highlights from yesterday's game with that ball on the roof, I was actually sitting in the officials area then.
It was a remarkable display of hitting yesterday. There wasn't anything they could do, and some of the bowlers that he was just absolutely destroying are world-class guys.
I mean, I know this is a small ground, we go on about it, but I mean, these are 6 anywhere. Doesn't matter which ground you're playing on in the world.
Look at that, it's just yet another 6.
Great to see him celebrate too, overseas players, how much it means. That was a bit, certainly wouldn't have been 6 anywhere in the world.
No,
but
that one was a little one. Maybe it would have been in Cardiff actually, where it's very short, straight.
Almost got the cameraman there. Luckily we got big sight screens here, saved us a few balls.
So Johan Botha returning to bowl. Oh, it's a moon ball, and that one has been carved away for 4 runs. It's going to be a no ball as well, I imagine. See whether or not John Ward is going to signal no ball and free hit. Indeed he does.
Yeah, that's, I was just about to put the mocker on Botha, but geez, I don't know what's happened there. It's potential arm ball, I think, that's just come out of the front of his hand there. So free hit.
And it's full toss that has been launched for 6 runs, all the way into the owner's tents.
It's not ironic when you, I was watching yesterday as well, he's hit that straight into the JD Jaguars owner's box. Almost a bit of insult to injury. Seen it a few times yesterday and watch a replay of it. That's gone straight into that's hit the roof of the JD Jaguars owner's box.
If the owners catch it, that doesn't count, right?
Just, you were asking me just before about how good it is for our younger players and our players to be exposed to these world-class cricketers. I think the running between wickets is a great example of this. I mean, Misbah's taking 2s that we didn't see yesterday.
Absolutely, and it's these particular 2, these batsmen here, that have been just absolutely fantastic with their running. But it's having that placement and that understanding of running. Running's such a massively underrated part of cricket. It's so important.
And they're certainly not the youngest blokes in this tournament, these 2, so it just shows the running between wickets. It's about just having that awareness and putting the fielders under pressure and running the first one hard, all the stuff we talk about as coaches and as young cricketers growing up.
Oh, and that one's gone again, another short ball, and nearly another catch in the crowd. But absolutely superb shot there. That one was dragged down short. This hasn't been a great over from Johan Botha so far.
He's getting a bit of tap here. Munir Dar's enjoying this as we watch the replays. Just dragged it down a bit short, and he's hit that long on and mid-wicket area again where all his 6s have come from. Just a bottom edge there and onto his foot, and luckily not onto his stumps for Munir's case there. Great to see the school kids in today again supporting this. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a...
Oh, that one's pulled down again and pulled away, but it's out this time. Absolutely cracking catch in the deep. And he's picked the fielder out. That was a terrible ball, but sometimes it's the terrible balls that gets wickets.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bowl just back of a length, wasn't he? He was trying to hit the wicket quite hard, and he was just showing to his teammates then he had a sort of, his fingers actually bent the way that he gripped it, and good catch there from Misbah Khan at deep mid-wicket. Enjoyed that wicket. Good innings there from Munir Dar. He really started to get going. So we got the Hong Kong former captain here, Tanveer Afzal, who's recently just come back from a broken finger that he sustained in December in Australia, and the 2 are there against some of the big bash sides. So he's someone that can certainly clear the rope. So Tanveer Afzal, former Hong Kong skipper, 33 on his back, just taking his guard. He's certainly someone that you won't see work his way into the innings. We've got genuine medium pace here from Botha. A single there for Tanveer, who will keep strike. Into the 15th over, and Hong Kong Island United now are 133 for 4. It looks like Imran Arif will come on from the line rock end.
So we've got the last 5 overs here. They'd be looking for 200 here, particularly if Misbah stays out there, and if Tanveer gets going, then 200 will certainly be the target for them. So we see
So Tanveer did quite well, didn't he, recently in the Netherlands match? Took 3 wickets in the first-class game against them.
Yeah, he bowled okay. He was not named in the side for the 2 World Cricket League matches, but played in the 4-day first-class competition. But he was just probably down on pace a little bit after breaking that finger and getting surgery and been off the cricket pitch for a while. I think he'd only played one club match before he came back for that first-class game. So which always shows someone that's got a fair bit of cricket fitness. Simran Arif coming around the wicket to the right-hand. Tanveer Afzal knocks it through mid-wicket. They'll look for 2 here, I think. They take 1 in the end there. Good bit of fielding there from Johan Botha.
How realistic is it then, do you think, for multi-day cricket here in Hong Kong? Do you think it's something that shorter formats? I know you guys have a 2-day competition, don't you, domestically, which allows guys to play slightly different techniques than just constantly playing limited overs cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's getting that mix of formats too. It's great at associate cricket level because you're at the top end of associate cricket. You play all 3 formats, which a lot of the guys aren't used to growing up in Hong Kong. We only play a handful of 2-day cricket. Imran Arif over the wicket now to Misbah.
So Imran's been overplaying T20 cricket domestically in Pakistan over the last couple of months, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done that the last few seasons. Obviously formerly played for Worcestershire and has qualified through the county systems and that. But I think he's played the last couple of seasons in the domestic Pakistan competitions, their T20 competitions, even their 50-over competitions, I believe. Just a bit fuller there. Hit through cover. Zakir Khan doing the fielding there at deep cover. Just over pitch there a bit from Imran. Probably a bit lucky to get away with that one. But no, he's a very handy cricketer and good to see. He's just come back from surgery as well. Just had knee surgery recently. So I think he's also only played maybe 2 or 3 club matches at best before this tournament. So we see a replay of the running between wickets.
Oh, that's a lovely shot from Tanveer. 6 more.
Yep, into the Peroni area there. Good shot there from Tanveer. Just over pitch, bit of width. And certainly in Tanveer's areas there.
So, give you an idea of the score. It's currently 143 for 4 in the 16th over here. That's 10 for Tanveer, and Misbah Ul-Haq 36 not out of 24 balls.
You just feel Misbah's just simmering away there. He's going to start getting going.
That one is driven down the ground beautifully. We saw a couple of those yesterday, didn't we? Those kind of cross-bat, it's almost a cross-bat drive, isn't it?
Well, it's just so many shots now, isn't there, in T20 cricket? And I think the wicket, this is it's the same wicket that we used yesterday, so obviously probably a little bit slower, so you'll see a bit of that. You'll see a lot more of the straight pull or the cross-bat swat.
It's a bit tennis forehand, isn't it?
So a big delivery here. Imran. Oh, it's down leg side. It's beaten Carter as well. He got a glove on it. It's a wide plus. So 2 wides there. And puts Misbah on strike. These are frustrations for coaching staff, the controllables. Often in T20 cricket, you talk about making your errors on the offside, not on the leg side, to try and restrict those wides and those extra balls being bowled. So Arif now to Misbah.
Much, much better delivery. It's the kind of length you want to be bowling at the end of the innings. Speared into the leg stump, Yorker. One of those ones that doesn't have a huge margin for error, does it? You get it slightly wrong and all of a sudden it's a full toss.
Absolutely, especially with boundaries that are short, straight. Often bowlers are fairly hesitant, particularly in club cricket here. If they feel they can't nail that Yorker, they get a bit worried.
We're going to see the wicket so far in the innings here. That's a big appeal from Imran. And, great catch there from Johan Botha. And that one was a lovely delivery from James Franklin, lifting and taking the edge. And here's Johan Botha bowling his medium pace. And a catch is taken at mid-wicket.
Yeah, I didn't see Bell's decision there, but that was probably a bit of a rough call, the LBW. I think a few were saying it was potentially going down the leg side. This caddy comes on for his next spell, so Kinshit Shah just mixing his bowlers around.
It was towards the end of the innings he came on yesterday, of course, and then took a hat-trick.
Yeah, well, we've got an award for the end of this tournament called the Champagne Moment. So I picked 3 from yesterday. That was one of them, plus Chris Carter's run out. And obviously Smith's 100, I think, were the 3 Champagne Moments from yesterday. So I think we'll get people to vote in for that over the next couple of days as we start to get a few more.
Oh, that one is absolutely gone. What a great shot.
Blake's gone for it again. He's already taken 1 catch out there in the crowd, and he was pretty keen to get that second one. I think there might have even been a bit of a diving effort there from a good mate out near the owners area.
Doesn't seem to be quite as much bounce as there was yesterday for those short balls. Slightly slower today, as you were saying, Charlie.
It's also, you've got to be shorter than that for that. Right. That's hot. That's certainly high. Both are under. There's a guy that you'd want under that one. That's a good catch.
Yes. No dramas there for Johan Botha. Obviously hugely experienced cricketer. Qualified to play for Australia now, I believe.
Yeah. Well, he's handy at this format. His leadership, I was talking to Trevor Penny, the Jaguars assistant coach, and he was saying how impressed he was with his leadership and the words of encouragement that he's passing on to his teammates. As we see, looks like Badgery coming out. It's a bat.
Very excited to see what Samuel Badgery can do. One of the more exciting 2020 bowlers, an absolute a demon in that power play as a spinner. Just hugely difficult to get away. And leg spin's such a massive, important thing to happen in 2020 cricket, getting the ball to go both ways.
Yeah, really looking forward to him bowling in this tournament. Great to see a spinner that can just be so crucial in the power play as we watch a replay of the wicket here.
Yeah, he just got underneath that one, didn't he? Turned around the corner there. Another single. It's amazing how often or how few dot balls Misbah faces.
Yeah, again, that's experience, isn't it? I think watched a few of the younger Hong Kong players yesterday hitting that mid-wicket, that cover region a fair bit, and just dotting up rather than getting it a bit squarer or just softer hands on it. Just using that experience of just constantly rotating the strike. Most teams will talk about scoring shots, won't necessarily focus on boundaries and that. Try and get your scoring shot ratio fairly high.
So that one's turned around the corner for 4. I thought maybe Naveed was going to have a bit of a dive there, but slightly too far away from him for that.
Yeah, not sure he's known for his athleticism in the field, but wasn't overly keen to put his body on the line there and have a go. But terrible delivery there from Ashley Caddy, just dragging that one down. As you can, if you're a lip reader, you'll know that he was pretty unimpressed by that.
Oh, that one's got an outside edge. Doesn't quite carry down to third man there.
Yeah, just a little bit
wider there. So the last couple of deliveries, Caddy just not quite getting them right there, but that's end of the over, and Hong Kong Island United move on to 5 for 163. We've got 18 balls left. I'm still confident we might see 200 here, Peter.
Well, the closing overs in every match that we've seen so far have been absolute carnage, so you never know.
And you've got Misbah and Tanvir Afzal there, the two blokes that I'd be pretty keen to have on in the last few overs if I was on the batting side. As we just see the school kids there, and maybe one of the teachers. The JD Jaguars owner's box there. I saw what that Yes Pizza is, by the way, and that's a vending machine pizza. So you can order a pizza through a vending machine. What a great concept. So Yes Pizza, the sponsors of the JD Jaguars. Hopefully they'll give me a free pizza for saying that.
2, please.
Excellent delivery there from Naveed. Kept them to 1.
Trying to avoid pizza though. But if there is a free one, then I may very well eat it.
For some reason, there's a lot of croissants in the officials area today, and I've devoured 6 of them so far. So I'm sure that's gone real well for my calorie count.
If you eat them quick enough, calories don't count.
Yeah. They're pretty small croissants too. They're not definitely not from France.
So just bunting out into the leg side there. Another single.
I sound a bit critical here, but one area I haven't been impressed with so far in this tournament has been the throwing. Some of the throwing has been pretty ordinary from the deep. I've seen a lot at the keeper's ankles and double bounce to the bowler's end and at bowler's ankles and over the top, over the head, and so it's it'd be interesting to see as the tournament starts to go deeper into the next few days.
It's another full toss from Naveed. Hasn't been fully punished by that one, just a single. There's been a lot of full tosses as well.
Yeah, I think just obviously bowlers are nervous about bowling that half volley because of the short boundary straight, so maybe just overcompensating a bit. But you know, how many times have we seen a wicket from a low full toss? You're better off. You know, again, I think your mistake needs to be fuller when you're trying to bowl a Yorker. Your mistake shouldn't be a half volley.
So another single there for Misbah. He has moved on to 41 not out off 29 balls with that shot. So one of the Misbah obviously has a bit of a reputation as being, you know, a test match plodder, but he has one of the fastest. Oh, it was until Brendan McCullum overtook him, the fastest test match 100 ball time.
Yeah, it's always interesting, aren't they, these selections for the different formats, and all countries do it. They seem to stick to certain players in different formats.
That's an absolutely lovely delivery from Naveed.
It looked like it just tailed in even at the end there, but that's a lovely delivery and just straight through, knocks the castle over, and Tanvir's on his way.
That's exactly what you want, isn't it? If you could have 6 of those and over, you'd be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, we're just talking. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that was Badri. Sorry, not Tanvir, who's the batsman that's just been cleaned up.
Yeah, it's not necessarily known for his batting skills, Samuel Badri, but that kind of delivery, there's not a huge amount that you can do about it. Quick, fast, speared it in that leg stump, straight through him. And not a huge amount of celebration there, but I'm sure he's delighted.
Naveed, he's got some crucial deliveries. He's got last ball of this over, and then he'll obviously bowl the 20th over as well. So Saeed Ajmal comes out.
another player that can swing and swing hard. If he connects, it tends to go a long way. One of cricket's great characters. Saw him bowling for Worcestershire in county cricket a few times when he was there, just absolutely ripping sides apart.
He's a class act, there's no doubt about that. The owners have spared no expense getting their overseas players. Obviously each team can have 5 overseas players as we have a look at the scorecard. Munsey looked all right actually. A couple of reverse sweeps, looked good out there. Bell getting trapped LB. Hassan Khan also looked like he was starting to get into third gear. Good ball from Franklin there, just pushed it across him. Took the outside edge. Misbah, obviously the Hong Kong Island United skipper. Also the Islamabad skipper as well, who won the Pakistan Super League 2016. And we've got Imran Arif, so he's now coming on from the Victoria Harbour end to Saeed Ajmal.
Goes for the lap shot and he gets away with it. Is that going to go all the way? Oh, I think it has maybe just bounced in front.
Yeah, one bounce.
One bounce for.
One bounce for. Umpire Ward signalling to the scorers. So good start to this over for the Hong Kong Island United.
Just 11 balls to go, so every boundary they can get from here is hugely important, especially with the score being so difficult to defend here. Can you imagine a side winning the toss and not bowling first over the next 5 days?
I just think I think also the thing you've got to take into account is DLS. Batting second, it's a lot easier, and with potential rain clouds around and all that, it's you don't want to run that risk. In 2020 cricket, the DLS probably doesn't really work too well, although there's not really any other calculations for it, but it's the best we got for now is Imran Arif. Saeed Ajmal just knocks it out to deep square for the one.
Brings Misbah onto strike on 41 not out. He's faced 29 balls for that. And I suppose he's got to be thinking another 27 runs off these 11 balls to get that 200 would be absolutely massive for this team now, especially after such a slow start.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see him pushing the ball around too much now. I think you might see move him, push up a gear now. Imran Arif into Misbah. Ul-Haq, he's poiked that one across the line there. It's a long on. Franklin.
Exactly as you predicted there, Mr. Burke.
Yeah, a couple overs to go. You got 4 wickets in hand. 200 looming.
Darren Sammy's already a bit of a cult figure here in Hong Kong, isn't he? Every time he does anything, there's a huge reaction from everybody.
Yeah, he's such a lovely man as well. Gets around, gets involved, talks to people, which is great to see.
I saw him last night when I popped along to Happy Valley. Seemed to be having a nice time chatting away with everybody.
Well, he actually, one of our staff was helping him out, put some money on one of the horses, and our staff member actually got the horse wrong, and Sammy was pretty upset by him. The horse ended up winning. So they ended up going halves in the winning. So Sammy was, he had a good day yesterday on and off the cricket field and down at Happy Valley, the races. Obviously a popular thing to do on a Wednesday night in Hong Kong.
Not a single winner for me last night. That one is gone. Absolutely fantastic shot all the way for 6 as John Ward signals yet another 6. It's approaching 50 now. That's, he gets there now. That'll be at least 1 half century in all of the matches we've seen so far. In all of the innings we've seen so far, even.
It's a lovely camera angle to show that shot as well, where it's just a over, well, yeah, full toss on his hip, and he's just gone with the line of it, just swung through it. So Imran Arif just, don't think they replaced the ball then, so I'm not sure what he was talking about. So important last delivery here.
That is yet another lovely shot from Misbah. That has gone miles. That's another dent in the lost balls budget.
We usually get them back from that end, the softball end. When they find their way into that area, it takes a bit of time, but we usually get them back. But he's just brought up his 50 as well, I believe.
32 balls to get there. That was his third six. But I think that's the shot of the day so far. That is just absolutely beautiful. Just so graceful to clear the front leg and swing through the line like that. I'm just completely in love with Misbah Ul-Haq. There's no getting away from it. It's done such a fantastic job to take Pakistan to where they are. But a hugely impressive captain for them in the Test series and Tests, and he's going to be playing again. Hasn't retired just yet. It's going to be 43 in May.
He's looking pretty good for 43, isn't he? Keeping himself fit.
There's a painting somewhere in an attic that's getting older as he gets younger. A portrait of Misbah Ul-Haq. Oh, that one's gone straight up in the air from Ajmal. It's a difficult chance and it goes down.
Yeah, Ninad Shah was under that one. Be disappointed with that. He got in position for it, and actually Caddy's picking up wickets.
Definitely is. And it seems to be those ones that people are trying to, hit them through the line and then aren't quite, the ball's getting there slightly later than they're expecting, I think.
I think that's just a better length. I think if you're going to be any fuller than that, you get hit down the ground. If you're going to be any shorter than that, it obviously sits up on the wicket.
Oh, and that is a lovely, lovely shot. That one's slightly shorter and pulled around the corner for 6. As I was saying, if Ajmal connects, it tends to go. Not necessarily a shot I'm going to say his technique slightly homespun is the word description I'm going to use for it. But he certainly has the ability to time a cricket ball, as we just saw there.
Oh, geez, he's hit that one well. He's certainly found the middle of his bat. His last few overs. Actually, Caddy a bit frustrated here. He's got to keep his cool here for the last 4 deliveries. In again, over the wicket. Short again. That's hit down, and that's gone for 6 again. Down at fine leg. And the public down in that area enjoying that. Misbah is firing.
So a restaurant in my local village with the same name as that one on that advertising hoarding there, Tamarind.
It's good to have them sponsoring us all the way to Hong Kong.
All the way to Hong Kong from Pontardawe. So a replay there of that shot. 6 more.
More a Kelly Max man myself. That sign was.
And we were saying that they're going to get somewhere close to 200. Here we are, 194 for 6. 4 balls to go.
We know what we're talking about, Peter, don't we, hey?
There are times.
Actually, Caddy will hope that 200 for 6 now. Scoreboard's updated.
And that one's gone again. Another shot from Misbah and 6 more. That is absolutely fantastic shot there. Takes him to 72 from 35 balls. The hitting that we've seen from these world-class players here. I think I was attributing some of those 6s to Ajmal earlier.
Yep.
But I'm just a little bit excited about the prospect of seeing Ajmal bat, but it is Misbah that's launching these balls out the ground.
Yeah, actually, Caddy, he's got to think of a plan here. I'd think about even trying to get those wide Yorkers in or try and use the offside somehow.
3 6s on the bounce now. So you were saying how Caddy was picking up wickets, but and that one's gone again. That's 4 in 4. That is absolutely fantastic. Did the balls come back from there, or is that one gone?
I'm not actually sure whether is that gone over the grandstand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be on Ting Kwong Road. I reckon that may have ended up at KG5 School. So looks like the reserve umpire Ian Thompson is retrieving that. It's a beautiful shot there from
Misbah and KG5 School have got an extra ball.
See if we can see 5 and 5 now. It's just absolutely brilliant batting from Misbah.
Ashley Caddy just working with Franklin here.
So last ball of the innings. Hong Kong Island United 212 for 6. Misbah Ul-Haq is 78 of 36. Let's see whether or not he can make it 84 from 37.
And here we go. Caddy again round the wicket to Misbah.
Oh, and that one is carved away into the covers, and it's going to be 4 more. That is superb timing. Best shot in cricket, back foot cover drive. Superb. So that means they're going to get finished there 20 overs on 216 for 6. They didn't look like they were going to be getting there when wickets were falling early, but a captain's knock from the captain of Pakistan.
Yeah, terrific innings, and poor Ashley Caddy, he's hasn't had the best of overs to finish with. He's been very impressive in this tournament to date. He'll be disappointed with the way he's finished there, but take nothing away from Misbah Ul-Haq. Terrific innings from the skipper. 82 off 37 deliveries, including 7 sixes and 4 fours. Saeed Ajmal, the other batsman, not outs. He's got 8 off 5 deliveries, including 1 boundary, as Hong Kong Island United 6 for 216 off their 20 overs.
I mean, that was just, once again, we've shown what can happen at the end of an innings. You know, if we were thinking they were going to score that many runs off that few overs, you know, we've got 4 sixes and a 4 off that over. It's pretty brutal on Ashley Caddy's bowling. He's finished with 4 overs and he's conceded 56 runs. 2 wickets, but that's pretty punishing at the end there.
Yeah, just saw Misbah sitting down there, taking his pads off, talking to the Hong Kong Island United manager and Phil Daniels, and we've got the school kids there. There's Misbah again on screen. Terrific start to his debut in the Hong Kong T20 Blitz.
Well, hopefully, Kath is going to be able to grab someone for an interview, but till then, we'll keep you entertained. And we see Misbah there looking tired, weary after that knock, and quite rightly so. He's done some powerful striking there.
And like we talked about before, I really enjoyed the running between wickets as well. I mean, the bloke's not one of the youngest out there, and he's just showing that intent and the good running between wickets, and it was an excellent effort, a terrific innings.
Trevor Penny is going to be interviewed by Kath shortly. We'll hang on for that. And we'll see what he has to say. I'm sure he's going to be slightly frustrated with the way that innings end for Hung Hom Jaguars. And here's Kath with Trevor Penny.
Jeff, can you hear me? Hello, and I am here with Trevor Penny. Trevor, what did you think of the score? Can you defend that? I mean,
we were expecting maybe 200, maybe just under, after we had our first good 10 overs. Misbah played brilliantly at the end there, and a couple of the other sort of locals played well.
yeah. And what did you think of Misbah? I mean, those last few overs, a bit costly.
And that was typical Misbah. He always just plays right till the end, and then he just launches. So we're pretty happy. I reckon it's about a par score.
Yep.
If we can bat steady and well in the first 10, then we can chase anything at the end.
All right, good luck.
Good, thanks a lot. Cheers.
So we will see whether or not this 213 is achievable. We saw yesterday just quite what was possible chasing on this ground. So we'll see whether or not the Jaguars can pull off some of the amazing batting that we saw yesterday. There was brilliant innings from James Franklin and Darren Sammy. And here's Catherine with Misbah.
Well, Misbah, 82. It's fair to say you're a fan of this ground.
Yeah, it is always good to just score runs, so I think I'm happy. bit nervous also because this ground, I mean, the way yesterday 119 got chased down. So let's see. We need to, I think, take wickets. We need to bowl well. Otherwise, if you don't take wickets on these grounds, this could happen.
Yes, we did see some massive scores yesterday. Do you think your total's enough?
Again, I would say it's all about just taking wickets. I mean, if you can't get other team out, then I think even 300 is not safe on this ground.
All the best for the rest of the match.
Thank you.
So with Misbah saying that wickets are really, really important, we'll be back with the second innings of this particular match as Hung Hom JD Jaguars chase 213 to win. Back shortly. It's Ul-Haq there. We're launching that ball out into the offside, and it looks as if that's going to be the very first 6 of the innings. So it's the start here of the innings. And Saeed Ajmal is here bowling. We've already had an absolutely massive 6 there from Ul-Haq. Launched Ajmal out into the offside for 6 runs. So Ajmal is in bowling around the wicket. That one's driven up the pitch. No run. So that one's worked out into the leg side. And there's that a run out. Has he been given? Yes, he has. Absolutely fantastic fielding there. I thought there was a single there for all money, but he's picked it up and he's thrown the stumps down, and we have our first wicket. It's Kinchit that's gone. It's going to be replaced by Carter, opening batsman and wicketkeeper for the Hong Kong international side. Another very young man, only 19 years old, born here in Hong Kong. Been told by Mr. Berg that his father's a pilot, which is why his family were here. And that is just an absolutely fantastic piece of fielding there, and the real delight from the Hong Kong United players to that wicket. So it's Saeed Ajmal again around the wicket. There's a reverse paddle from Carter. But decent stop there prevents there being any run. That brings us to the end of the first over. Score is 6 for 1. And we've got a replay coming up with a run out, swoops down, throws the ball in, and he's gone by a fair distance. That's an absolutely lovely piece of fielding and a lovely piece of camera work as well to pick that up. Fantastic stuff. It's going to be Tanveer opening the bowling. Of course, the job he does regularly for the Hong Kong international side. Just recently he was playing against the Netherlands in the first-class Intercontinental Cup competition, where he took 3 wickets. Charlie Burt was saying he was just come back from injury, so slightly down on pace in that, but we'll have to see how he's bowling in this particular match. It was only the one scoring shot in that first over, and that was that 6 that was hit by Ul-Haq. And that one is a full toss driven down the ground. It's going to go all the way for 4. We've had 10 runs. Both of them have come from boundaries so far from the first 7 balls. Joining us here for our coverage of the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. My name's Peter Miller. welcome to all of you who are watching on the Facebook and YouTube streams. It's great to have you along for this great cricket here at the Ting Quan Road Recreation Ground in Hong Kong. As that one is inside edged onto the pads, a lovely fuller ball from Tanveer. Something of a specialty for him.
Quick single brings Carter on strike. Day 2 of the DTC Mobile T20 Blitz here in Hong Kong.
Not a single ball faced by poor Kinchit in that innings. A diamond duck run out for naught, having not faced the ball. So this one is a lovely extra cover drive from Carter, but a decent piece of fielding from Captain Misbah in the covers prevents there being a run.
Misbah Ul-Haq at covers. Superstars of the game playing here.
It's a full ball and another one driven straight down the ground. 4 more runs. That was an absolutely lovely shot there. Nizakat there with a lovely shot down the ground for 4 runs. That one's pushed out into the offside. It's a nice back of a length ball from Tanveer there, tucking the batsman up. They jog through for another single. We got the 6s from the Hong Kong Island United innings coming here. Here's Misbah launching the ball down the ground. Straight into the sight screen there. So, another absolutely fantastic shot there over cow corner. A great catch in the crowd. Oh man, they're absolutely delighted with his efforts there. So, love an extra cover drive all the way up over the top towards the Peroni tent there. And here's Misbah at the end of the innings. Managed to score 6 sixes in a row, not off the same over, but he did manage all of those hits, 6 sixes and a 4 to finish off his innings. Ajmal continuing. Scoop shot round the corner. 4 more runs. Tanveer runs after it, but he's got no hope there. That's a lovely, lovely shot. Very clever from Carter there. Very talented young man. Some Hung Hom JD Jaguars flags from some of the young kids in the crowd here. One is bunted out into the offside, no run. It's Misbah that does the fielding again. There at mid-wicket. There's a replay now of that lovely scoop shot from Carter. Big appeal, but nothing doing from umpire Ward. some room cleared for himself there. 1 bounce, 4 runs, backed away. And absolutely dispatched from Ul-Haq. Yet another shot up over extra cover. Ul-Haq, 24-year-old top-order batsman, occasionally bowls some leg breaks. He's played 12 ODIs and 23 2020 internationals for Hong Kong. So that one is driven up the ground and fielded by the bowler.
.27 for 1 after 3 overs.
It's going to be Samuel Badri who'll be coming on to bowl. Obviously a World Cup, World T20 winner with the West Indies. One of the premier bowlers in this particular format of the game. Played all over the world. As he bowls in first ball, Carter plays a big sweep, and that one just carries on with a slight turn away from the batsman. And that was perhaps not the best shot to play first ball against Badri, but you've got to try and get on with it when you're chasing 217 for win. But it just goes to show how skillful he is. Replay coming up now of as he sweeps and that crashes into middle stump. Carter obviously hugely disappointed. He was looking pretty good before that shot, but he goes. A new batsman is Jonathan Fu. Another straight honour from Badri. Bit of an appeal, but nothing doing from the umpire. Slightly quicker and a slightly shorter length. And is that gone? That's... Oh, no, I don't think it was. I thought for a moment he'd caught the ball there with the reaction from the fielders. But they were just absolutely delighted with that great diving stop. As that one is launched out into the leg side. Looks as if it may have been the flipper there.
In the air, but falling safely. Couple of runs.
Jonathan Fu managed just 3 yesterday. Struggled to get going. We'll see how he gets on today as he plays that one defensively out into the offside. The almost ever-present Misbah Ul-Haq comes in from the covers. So I was saying he's going to be 43 in May. Certainly doesn't look it. Still very sprightly and still very interested in playing international cricket. Long may that continue as far as I'm concerned. Badri again, and this one is swept hard out into the leg side. Again, the dimensions of this ground make 2 runs very difficult unless you place it brilliantly. That was a feature of Misbah's fantastic innings. See a replay there of that sweep shot from Fu. Talking of the age of players, it's quite interesting that one of the better partnerships in this innings has been between two 42-year-olds, Monir Dar, Misbah Ul-Haq. Of course, Monir played a couple of ODIs all the way back in 2008 for Hong Kong and then featured at the World T20 in 2014. Tanvir to continue from the top end. And a decent delivery from him.
Tanvir Afzal with the ball.
That is driven down the ground for Fu. It's going to trickle over the boundary rope. 4 runs. See another shot of that lofted extra cover drive from Jonathan Fu. He looks slightly more fluent than he did yesterday, where he struggled to get going. And that one's chipped back to Tanvir Afzal, and he's dropped it. That was a relatively straightforward caught bowl chance. He thought he had it, and then he didn't, and then he thought he had it again, and down it went. This is the drop catch. No, that one's the lofted 4. As that one played uppishly again out into the offside. Thought for a moment that might get a field to get underneath it, but no, it's made it to the boundary just to the right of us commentary position here. Neither of those lofted 4s have looked altogether under control, but they've certainly done the job. Monir Dar there. The end of the over there. Score on 38 for 2. Long, long way to go to the 217 target that was made. It's got there primarily thanks to the absolutely fantastic batting of Misbah Ul-Haq. Brilliantly paced innings. There's a chance that went down in that over just gone, and here's a replay of it now. again. Hopefully we're going to have that replay lined up for you shortly. Slightly shorter ball from Badri. It's Dar that does the fielding. A full toss from Badri, and that one's carved out to cover point. 4 more runs. This is a much more effective and impressive innings today from Fu than we saw yesterday. That one kept low from Badri, leg spinner, and Nizakat's gone down to sweep, and the ball just hasn't got up. That's the first one we've seen across these 2.5 matches so far that hasn't quite bounced.
Good effort there by Dar, keeping it down to a single. Very good knock this morning.
Down the leg side there, going to be signalled a wide by the umpire.
Sliding down the leg side, this time wide declared.
Badri again, and this time the slog sweep comes off, but it's going to be caught, is it? Oh, it's going to land safe. The misjudgment there from Monadar. I thought he was going to get himself underneath that, but it spun and swirled in the air, and Fu's very lucky to get away with that one there. It's going to be Kyle Christie coming onto bowl. He's born in Hong Kong, but Perth-based. He's played just one ODI for Hong Kong versus Papua New Guinea back in 2006. Wasn't the most auspicious of games for him. He bowled 1 over for 16 runs and was out for a 3-ball duck. That one is bunting out into the leg side. They've gone through for 1 run. They're thinking of a second. I'm assured we're going to have a replay now of the Tanveer Afzal dropped catch. Here we go, driven back to him. He has it, and then it goes down. That was a relatively straightforward caught and bowled chance. Back of the length ball from Christie, which is run down to third man for a single. Badgery, the man that does the fielding there at third man. You see Scotland's George Munsey on the screen there. He opened the batting today with Ian Bell. Now the ball's driven out into the leg side. They're going to go for a run. There's a big appeal for it. Is the umpire going to give that one? No, I think he's safe. Slight delay here as Jonathan Fu gets another pair of gloves run out to him. A great dive from Fu to get himself in there. For a moment, it didn't look as if he was going to make his ground. There's certainly a huge amount of excitement from Hong Kong Island United. So we see the hesitation between Nizakat and Fu there, but Fu managed to make his ground. So after that delay, as Fu sorted himself after that dive, got himself another pair of gloves. He's going to be the man on strike. Christie, the bowler. Wicketkeeper now standing up to him. And that one's driven down the ground.
Hi, Christie, the ball. Good over the sofa.
Back of the length ball that's just slightly more difficult to get away. It's been the more successful delivery so far today. Short or full, or even on a good length, it's been quite easy for the batsman to get you away. For those balls that have been slightly back of a good length have tucked batsmen up. So that's the one to go for, but the margin of error on this pitch and on this ground is so small, it's very difficult for bowlers to pull that off. So 7 overs gone in pursuit of 217 for victory. The Hung Hom JD Jaguars are 51 for 2. And that one is played brilliantly. Lovely lofted extra cover drive off Daniel Pascoe, the new bowler. 33-year-old Pascoe's born in Australia. He's played 8 first-class games for Oxford University between 2009 and 2012. Slow left arm bowler, plays for the Kowloon Cricket Club here in Hong Kong. And that is another absolutely lovely shot, but it's brilliantly caught. Absolutely fantastic catching there. I thought that had gone for 6 for all money, but that is a lovely, lovely piece of fielding there by George Munsey. That is an absolutely world-class catch from Scotland's George Munsey there. So we see a replay of that one now. Pascoe around the wicket, carved out into the leg side, and diving. I thought had just gone past him, but he's taken hold of it. I think he might have hurt himself on the way down, but the knowledge that he's taken a blinder, I'm sure, will ease some of the pain. New batsman is James Franklin, New Zealand all-rounder. Franklin was absolutely superb yesterday. A match-winning partnership over a shortened game with Darren Sammy. Pascoe bowls again, and that one's driven out into the offside. Saeed Ajmal, the man that does the fielding. Pascoe asking the umpire to move somewhere slightly different, so he's not in his way as he's running in. Franklin defends that one out into the offside. Very, very tidy first over from Pascoe. First class experience playing for the Oxford University in England. And that ball, as I was just saying, great over so far. Spoilt slightly by that almost lackadaisical drive down the ground for 6 for Franklin. We may need another new ball. Indeed, here comes the reserve umpire walking out with a box of balls. We'll have to see whether or not we can get that one back, so that's gone down into the flats. Another shot that has not only cleared the boundary but also cleared the ground. Would have been 6 anywhere in the world. And JD Jaguars, if they're going to keep up their 100% record after their win yesterday, they're going to need more of the same from Franklin and probably from Sammy to come. So we have the ball recovered. It's going to be Pascoe continue. Last ball of the over, 64 for 3. And that one is chopped down to short third man. No chance of a run there. Despite that big 6, that was a very impressive first over from Pascoe. So there's the scorecard there. Nizakat 34 from 21. Kinchit run out for 0 without facing a ball. And then Carter obviously bowled by Samuel Badri. And since then, we've seen Jonathan Fu get 16 from 16. And James Franklin's played just that one scoring shot from his 2 balls. That beautiful drive straight down the ground. Ishan Khan into the bowling attack. Ishan Khan, an off-break bowler. Played in the 2 List A games against Netherlands here recently. Took 5 wickets across those 2 matches. As the left-handed Franklin pushes that one out into the leg side, and they jog through for a single. Dar does the fielding. Jonathan Fu on strike, and he drives that one straight down the ground. That's 6 more signalled. John Ward doing the job there. And that is an absolutely beautiful shot from Fu, who, as I said, has looked better today than he did yesterday, but is now starting to find some fluency. That's the best shot he's played so far, and yet again, some more exercise for the reserve umpire, who jogs out with yet another ball. It's now at the point where, well, hopefully, from a Jaguars point of view, they're going to see some acceleration. It's pulled down slightly from Ashan, and they jog through for 1 more. I started yesterday keeping a lost ball tally. I had little lines going in my book that I've got sat in front of me with my notes, but unfortunately, I've lost count already. But I am going to try and find out if I can find the number of lost balls by the end of this tournament. So that one is driven just over the top of the fielder there. Misbah almost got a hand to it. But there's going to be a 2. Bit of a rare occurrence in this innings so far. You see it now just driven up over the top of Misbah. Thought for a moment he was there. Needed springs in his heels to get to that one, as this one's driven up the ground. Another single. So that's the end of the 9th over. And score's currently 76 for 3 with that single off the last ball of the over, I think. Just waiting for the graphics to catch up. Some great Hong Kong Island United flags there with their lion. Of course, they're the sister team of the Pakistan Super League. Okay. So the DTC shop there, of course, they're the title sponsors of our tournament here, the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. But as I was saying, it's the sister team of the Pakistan Super League side, Islamabad United, who won the inaugural edition.
141 required from 11 overs.
So it's Ryan Campbell there, wearing orange. Something he's going to be doing more often when he's the coach of the Netherlands. Been involved with Hong Kong cricket for a long time now, but he's leaving to take up that position with the Dutch cricket team. So that one is cut away for 4 runs.
Outside edge for the boundary. First delivery.
Showed a lot of power yesterday, Franklin, but that was a very delicate shot.
Good to be heading into another 20 finisher this afternoon. Match number 1 of the day.
Another driven shot down the ground for 1 from Franklin. So it's 137 runs needed from 64 balls. Obviously a stiff target, but we've seen over the last couple of days just quite what can be achieved in the last 5 overs on this particular ground, on this pitch, with the class of batsmen that we have here at the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. So that's a required rate of 12.75 runs and over. So it's every ball they need to be scoring more than 2 runs to keep up with that rate. Need some acceleration, but they're able to do that as that one is worked out into the leg side by Fu. So Franklin again drives Tanveer up the pitch. George Munsey of Scotland's the man that does the fielding. We've already seen him take an absolutely belting catch. Give you an update on what the scores are so far. James Franklin's on 15 not out. Jonathan Fu off on 25 off 20 balls. 1-6 each for these 2 batsmen. And that one is carved away out into the offside. 42-year-old Dar attempts to get there. Doesn't quite manage it. Nice pull round the corner for 4 more runs. Have a replay of that shot coming up now. Fu rocks onto the back foot and pulls it just behind square for 4 more runs. Once again, tucked round the corner. This time, there's only going to be the 1 run as Dar successfully does the fielding down there at fine leg. So that's 10 overs gone. 88 for 3 is the score. And I am going to be replaced on commentary by Max Abbott. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage, and I'll be back again to speak to you soon.
Thanks, Peter. And a double change for 1 with Hong Kong head coach Simon Cook also joining me as this run chase heads into the back half with the Hung Hom JD Jaguars 88 for 3. Nizakat Khan, that was a key wicket, falling for 34 off 21. Jonathan Fu there at the moment with James Franklin. No Darren Sammy as yet. I just wonder how that knee's going. He's wandering around. Might try and see if I can almost get his attention, just check he's all right. Looks very focused.
Continues.
Yeah, it's set up to be quite an interesting finish, isn't it? Both teams went off quite slowly in the first period of their innings, but I think there's a quiet calm within the JD Jaguars. The realisation this is a really good wicket, and potentially they could catch up any deficit that they get here towards the end.
Just motioned to Darren Sammy there, asked him, is he all right? A little shake of the head. He knows he's not fully fit with the knee issue, but
I'm not sure he's going to be running too much, is he?
no.
And actually, with the total and the way this innings is starting to be pan out, he probably won't be required to do much running. Just trying to slot the ball over the boundary. Hassan into his second over. Generally controlling it pretty well. Jonathan Fu hit him for a huge 6 earlier. He's just going to try and get it up and full underneath him. Try and keep him a bit quiet. But Jonathan Fu's got a lot of power.
Yeah, it was some fantastic striking in the first innings as well. Misbah Ul-Haq, that softball court got an absolute peppering. On the weekend, there's going to be some major interruptions to their fixtures.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Be very interesting for them. Obviously, they're going to have some very big yellow balls coming towards them, and then some white ones coming from above. But that last shot from Jonathan Fu, which went into the softball ground, was probably the biggest hit we've seen over the 3 games so far. There's an appeal there, but going down the leg side.
Let's have another look at that. If we can slip it in before this ball, although Ehsan Khan does get through his overs very quickly.
Another violent attempt at taking on the softball ground by Jonathan. Another good over from Ehsan. Really starting to turn the screw now. The JD Jaguars starting to slip a little bit further and further behind.
And yeah, we were talking about Darren Sammy coming on one leg. Of course, that may have been damage done through his innings yesterday, which was a real highlight here. And we just might take a look at some of what he did in the match against the Galaxy Gladiators Lantau yesterday. Some of these shots were just fantastic. 52 off 19. Oh, look at that one. That was one of the biggest we've seen over the cricket net. That is a big hit over to that part of the ground. And yeah, he hit him to all parts. The crowd were absolutely loving it. They came here to see Sammy. They weren't disappointed. That's one into that softball court that we were talking about. Great entertainment for the crowd.
He's a proper showman, isn't he?
He's there just on the right of screen. He's looking focused.
Focused or frozen?
But it's a bit cold here today.
See them all wrapped up, hoodies up over their heads. The ball hit hard down the ground. Carl Christie back into the attack, taking over Tani Afzal. It's a challenge bowling at this short end. Just needs to make sure he doesn't slip up there too far that the batters can get underneath it. Almost a low full toss is better than dragging a half or dragging a Yorker down a little bit. He's bowled with good pace, Kyle, good control so far. Again, really good length. Franklin seems to be very much in control here. He gives that impression. He's a very laid-back character, languid swing, a lot of power. The 6 he hit off Dan Pascoe earlier was a big strike, and didn't look like he actually put any real effort into it. Another good ball, which is drilled into the pitch. Bit of a cutter, doesn't really come on, kind of sticks in the surface. That was the comments that were coming out of the first innings. Was the ball was sticking in the pitch and not coming out from that back of a length.
I'm sure you'll be keeping a close eye on Kyle Christie here, Simon, as a guy who's sort of been in and around the Hong Kong first 11?
Yeah, absolutely. He's come into our setup recently, and he started to move his game forwards, which is really good. Being picked up in this DTC 2020 Blitz has been good for him. Confidence-wise, it does him a lot of confidence getting in the 11 here, and then being given a prominent role with the ball as well. So it's he's learning a lot, and he learns pretty quickly. Struggled a little bit with an ankle injury recently, which kept him out of the recent Netherlands series. But that little bit of rest and rehabilitation has done him the world of good, and you know, he's coming in hitting his straps pretty well here.
It's in the air. He hasn't quite got all of it, but oh, it's taken, and unbelievable! Almost the catch of the tournament taken right there. Kyle Christie, hands on head, applauds the effort. Is it Samuel Badgery down there? Fantastic effort. I thought for a moment it was going to be one of the better boundary catches we've seen. He just threw it in a little too far. Had done the hard work and just in the end put it down. And that's hammered out into the leg side. Just clears the fielder in the deep square leg boundary and goes for 6. It's a fine line.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. It's fine margins, isn't it, here? You know, amazing effort down on the boundary by Samuel Badgery. Nearly pulled off an amazing wicket or amazing catch, and then very next ball just flies over the head of the fielder, and it goes for 6. And unfortunately, he's gone for 7 in 2 balls. So.
Yeah, and those couple of 6s just kept the Jaguars ticking on. I think 104 now off 12 overs, so they've got 112 to get in 8 overs, which sounds like a lot, but it's quite doable.
It is on this ground, and it looks like, you know, as I said, Franklin looks like he is in control. He doesn't look rushed out there.
And you can see they're 113 off 48. That's in the air. Has he got enough on it? And dropped it over for 6. The fine margins in this game. Munzie, that's 3 deliveries in a row where the ball has narrowly escaped a fielder.
And that's what you see in with these smaller grounds here is that actually that equation is quite doable as long as you stay smart, don't panic under pressure, pick your boundaries, pick your balls to hit. You know, the bowlers need to be smart here as well and not give the batters too much to hit, particularly down the ground straight. You want the guys to be hitting along the boundary square and taking on those fielders.
This game could come right down to the wire here. Wide. No, slight deflection.
Slight deflection there. Rory Keynes into the side in replacement for Jamie Atkinson, who's unavailable today. Doing a great job behind the stumps.
Well, that's in the slot and hammered out to the deep mid-wicket boundary. That's over the Red Bull flags there. And a fantastic shot from Jonathan Fu, the West Indian, showing that he too can do what some of his perhaps more well-noted hitters and countrymen can do.
And and you see here, it's quite easy to slot 2 balls out of the ground here, and you've got 12 off 2 balls, and then suddenly the equation, you have one over that goes for a 25 or 26, and we saw one of those the first over yesterday in the Cantons innings. They were chasing 200, and the first over went for 28. Really set him off, and they ended up chasing down 200 runs in 16 overs. So the size of the ground really means that these teams can be in this right to the end, and the batting power that the Jaguars have got coming in down the order is quite phenomenal with Darren Sammy, Johan Botha still to come. Mohamed Naveed is also a useful striker. So they've got 3 really good, powerful strikers with cricket balls to come in, which means that these 2 at the crease now have really got free license to try and take on the boundaries as much as they can.
Just seeing Darren Sammy here, just next to our commentary position, doing a few warm-up swings, just trying to test if he's able to.
The challenge here for Misbah is how's he going to complete this innings? You know, who's he going to be his death bowlers? I'm probably assuming that Saeed Ajmal will bowl, and here he is on now. He needs to come into the attack pretty quickly. They need to try and break this partnership. Good overs left for Badri.
2 very experienced cricketers here. And this is where Hong Kong Island United might have a little advantage on the other teams. They've got to have Misbah leading your team. There's a big advantage to have someone of his experience in these pressure situations, perhaps compared to some of the other teams that have younger, more inexperienced captains.
Yeah, definitely. And what you'd hope is that the younger, inexperienced captains are looking on a little bit and learning from that, and also the national players that we've got in the Hong Kong United team. They're learning from Misbah as well. He looks like a very calm character. He's not panicking too much. Looks calm, in control, as well he should be at this point in the game. I think he should feel he's got some sort of control over it, and it is the Jaguars are going to have to pull something pretty special out the bag to win it from here.
A leave at this point is unexpected. I think he thought it was going to be a wide, Jonathan Fu, but the ball just spun back enough to change the angle.
A little bit of grip there. It's just snuck into that wide line.
Outside the leg stump.
Getting smart, taking the pace off a little bit, making sure he's not giving the batter too much room to be able to hit straight to this short boundary. He wants him to be. If he's going to hit it, he's going to have to slog sweep it or flat bat it.
Quick single there from Jonathan Fu. Gets Franklin back on strike.
The arm ball is just a single. Brings Chief Franklin on strike.
That equation still pretty hefty for the Jaguars. They need to keep the momentum going. Just the 1 run of the first 3 balls of this over. Oh, and he's got him. That one just spun past the outside edge of Franklin. A few choice words on the way out.
Yeah, and like we said, he's smart. He's taking the pace off a little bit. He's not let Franklin get anywhere near the ball. There's a little bit of turn there when the ball's bowled a little bit slower, and he's brought about the demise of Franklin.
And a wry smile almost there from Franklin.
Yeah, it's one of those situations though. He's in there where he's got to take on the boundary at some point with 3 dot balls, with the equation building. Someone has to take it on, and Franklin tried and unfortunately failed on that attempt.
Very round arm, Ajmal's.
Yeah, and he said there's a lot of remodeling with his action. More round arm, tries to undercut it a little bit.
So here we go, Darren Sammy at the crease. Can he repeat what he did yesterday? Ian Bell suffered an injury on that LBW he's dismissed on. I believe he's going for x-rays actually on his foot, which could be a major blow to the Hong Kong Island United team.
Yeah, I saw him limping around earlier, and yeah, hopefully it's nothing more than a bruise.
Oh, well bowled from Ajmal. What a great over this has been. It's really put the Hong Kong Island United side on top.
Yeah, he's really turning the screws here. Darren Sammy looks particularly uncomfortable here. sort of groin or knee injuries. Looks like it's starting to play up a bit. Some attacking play here from Misbah Ul-Haq with a slip in.
Well, that's just tucked around the corner, very fine. This could race away to the boundary, so Sammy's away. You can see a very noticeable limp.
Yeah, he looks like he's really struggling. I've said it all the way through this commentary stint in this game. I'm not sure there's going to be too many quick singles from him. It's important we don't, the bowlers here don't give him too much to hit in his arc, make him work for it. Dan Pascoe coming on to bowl. Softball ground end.
Just looking through the bowling card here. Oh, Sammy just got one where it hurts. Dan Pascoe to bowl his second over. Got the wicket of Nazak Khan earlier. They've still got 2 to come from Badri. And still 1 left from Ajmal. So you would think that it's going to be very difficult in these last 6 overs. Manufacture 94 runs when you've got those 2 bowlers who are going to bowl 3 of the overs remaining.
Yeah, it becomes a tough equation, doesn't it?
They'll have to be this over, they really go here. I guess when the run rate requires 15.6 on your screen, you're probably going every over. So hit down the ground straight. That'll go 1 bounce and in over the boundary for 4.
Yeah, you're right. They will look to target this over. Yeah, 15 is probably not going to be enough. They want a 25 really, or 30 off this over if they can, because it is going to be particularly difficult trying to take 15s off of the other end.
And that's up in there. That's going way out of here. And 4-6 puts the pressure on Dan Pascoe.
Again, you see Darren Sammy talking there and making sure that everyone's thinking nice and clearly. Darren Sammy, incredibly experienced in these sorts of situations.
Valuable here for Dan to have Misbah come up with a plan. We did in the excitement of those 4s and 6s miss the fact that Jonathan Fu passed 50. So now moved along to 59 off 36 balls.
Yeah, they're going pretty quickly, aren't they?
Yep. So Jonathan Fu, he came to the tournament last year but suffered an injury in a collision with Nazak Khan out on the deep mid-wicket boundary. The first edition of the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz, and a very long chat here between Misbah Ul-Haq and Dan Pascoe.
I'd be fascinated to have an ear on what's being spoken about there. With a law professor and an incredibly experienced Test international cricketer.
Oh, that's smashed. That's going to go all the way for 6 more.
Whatever was discussed there, it might have to be rethought.
Great hitting from Jonathan Fu. And now, well, the run rate required is 15 and over. They're already 16 off the first 3 balls. 17.
This is brilliant experience for our guys. Dan Pascoe's been incredibly successful in our premier domestic competition. He's never been put under this pressure before.
And that could go out into the gap. No, they're going to be cut off out there. Keep it to a single. So now that he's got Fu off strike, he'll just bowl to Darren Sammy.
Yeah, brilliant. It's great. It's a great situation, isn't it? Must be relishing it. Actually, in all seriousness, it is something that it's good for him. Like I said, he's never been really challenged in domestic cricket here.
Samuel, he got the levers up, ready to strike there, but in the end walks through for a single. He's really struggling.
Well, that's right. He's come back. Dan Pascoe's come back really, really well here. He's been hit for two big sixes and a 4.
That's cool. That's going to peel there. The foot did move, but it's a wide signal.
Another wide delivery, 20 runs coming on the over.
Just getting his line one stump too far down the leg side. That's all. He's just trying to cramp him for room. Doesn't want to give him too much room to free his arms to get it, so the batters can get the ball into that softball court again. He's just trying to cramp them up. He's happy just to get out with a single here.
Oh, it was half volley. I think Fu might have been premeditating a different shot there, or for that delivery that was going to be skidded in.
Yeah, with Darren Sammy struggling a little bit, it's probably he was thinking about just trying to get down the other end to farm the strike a little bit.
So it looks like
Badgery coming on.
So Samuel Badgery is about to come on. We look down here on Ting Kwong Road Recreation Ground. Beautiful, beautiful surrounds here when the sun is out. We do hope that will be the case later in the week, but pretty cold and cloudy at the moment, and chilly 18 degrees.
It's bizarre, isn't it? You could say chilly 18 degrees. It's normally 18 degrees for an Englishman. It's actually quite warm. You'd have shorts and a t-shirt on.
Well, Ian Bell, he does have the shorts on. That's hit in the air. That's going to go all the way. 6 runs. And again, the first ball of the over puts Badgery under pressure. And 2 helmetless cricketers out there ready to try and attack this big required run rate.
This is what we said. It's the boundaries are so small here, and the Jaguars have got so much power left in the hut that anything is really possible.
Yeah, this game could get very close now. And, good result there. They can't get the quick single, so the Island United players can afford to be back on the ring.
Really looking to try and target that short boundary, even off the back foot. Trying to hit off the back foot for 6.
So another 67 runs required here as Sammy, oh, that's very high in the air, but has it got the legs? Oh, and dropped. Samuel Badgery made good ground. The ball was swirling around.
So he's hurt his neck there as well, trying to take that catch.
It's gone so high that even Sammy's been able to sneak through for 2.
I'm not sure quite how he's hobbled through for 2, but yeah, big heave, high in the air. Went about the 30-meter circle, or just inside. Brilliant effort.
Brilliantly placed. Oh, he's done him. It was just skidded down low. Sammy drops the bat. Pulls a pose.
Almost that horrible drag down, which actually becomes a good ball in T20 cricket.
That's heaved down the ground.
That's
flat and
6.
hard. 6 runs for Darren Sammy.
He's trying to target that short boundary, even off the back foot. Samuel Badgery looks like he's struggling a little bit there with a shoulder injury after taking that diving attempt at a catch.
Darren Sammy and Jonathan Fu certainly enjoying themselves out there. Definitely. And certainly swinging the bat hard, as we see here from Darren Sammy. It looks up to the sky. What an entertainer he is.
And they're going to switch round. Syed Ajmal is going to come back to the softball end. You get the feeling that this man holds the key really to defending this target.
What's the equation now? It's 58 runs required in 4 overs. So the run rate required has not been going up for a couple of overs. So that's beautifully bowled from Ajmal. Not much he can do. The ball really fizzing out of his hand. Just the single. If they could come up with a tight over here.
Once again, a brilliant start by
Pressure in his last 3.
getting a bit of bounce off the surface.
Required right up to 17 or 18.
This is
And the
last over.
with
Bit
Misbah
of a Hail Mary here. They're even trying to get a wicket.
Sammy on strike.
A wicket here if they can sneak sort of 10 off this over and not lose a wicket. I think they'll be the Jaguars will be very, very happy. Just one more over for Samuel Badri as well.
It's up in the air. He's just flicked the wrists at it. Has he got enough on it? Oh, what a catch! What an unbelievable catch.
That's great from Devang Balsari. Very, very good young fielder who's recently come back to Hong Kong after spending a lot of time in the UK, and he's really, really impressing.
Oh, Sammy, what was a big flick of the wrists. No backlift. Devang Balsari maybe misjudged it slightly initially, but a fantastic catch, and he's pumped.
Done himself no harm there, obviously with Ian Bell off the field. He's taken his chance there, so never know. You might see him in the 11 next in the next game.
It's good to see Sammy and talking about the game. It just shows that these overseas players, perhaps some might think that it's not a IPL or PSL, but they're still very competitive, and they're from observing their reactions on the field and enjoying themselves playing in this new environment.
Yeah, all of the players that have come in from overseas have really impressed me with their attitude, and that's a really, really important thing. You know, like we keep stressing, this tournament is so important for our national players' development, and if you've got really good overseas players coming in, it's not just what they do on the field that the players learn from. It's actually how they conduct themselves off the field, the communication that happens between them, talking about the game. That's half of the battle as well. Certainly in county cricket, that was what we used to learn from in county cricket, was the overseas players coming over, how they prepare, how they think in different situations.
What a moment for Devang Balsari to have a catch like that off Darren Sammy with Syed Ajmal bowling it.
Absolutely. You know, he's young man, young in his career, and hopefully we hope that he will go a lot further, and he's done nothing to harm his chances there.
Yeah, fantastic catch. You'll remember that one. So Johan Botha is a good finisher. He's can hit 360 degrees with those lap sweeps.
Yeah, and again, very, very clear thinker of the game. Good executor.
It's flipped onto the onside. It's going to push for 2 and be able to get it. Yes, they do. So a pretty difficult equation.
It is, but I think they'll be looking to take this right down to the last over. And if you see they go into the last over needing 15 or maybe even 20, there's still a really good chance of getting it with these small boundaries. And in particular, if Syed Ajmal's bowled out, it's gonna fall down to one of the other, I guess, lesser bowlers, if you like, to really stand up under pressure.
It's just pushed into the offside, only a single. Holland United more than happy to give singles at this stage. Perhaps Johan Botha just deciding we're going to just try and do it all from Badri, and perhaps it's going to be an interesting decision for that.
Exactly.
Either Kyle Christie, maybe Hassan Khan, or Tanvir Afzal.
It's going to be interesting. This period, which is Joyce was saying about if you can get out of this over with not losing a wicket.
Could be a
10.
wide.
You're going to set yourself up in a strong position. The fact that they lost Darren Sammy kind of puts them back a little bit, but
Forward defence.
and I think you can see that that is the way they're thinking out there. You see Ajmal off because they feel they can catch up from the other end. And even if it is Samuel Badri, they feel they can take that short boundary on.
See the scorecard here. Jonathan Fu, very good innings, 76 of 45. Zaka Khan at the top. That was a big loss. He was looking dangerous. The diamond duck for Kinshit Shah.
So here it is. Here's the big decision. So Kyle Christie comes back into the attack. And this is probably going to be an over where they're going to look to really target.
52 needed to win from 3 overs. Gonna probably have to take at least 18 to 20 from this one.
Yeah, try and get ahead of that rate a little bit. Like I said, I think this is probably the over where the game will be won and lost.
I'm thinking Kyle Christie's vote. And Botry wouldn't have seen a lot of him. So that's Hoyt pass. He gets it past the short fine leg, and it will run away for 4. So good start to the over. Puts the pressure on Kyle Christie.
Yeah, you won't have seen him too much, but you know these guys they travel around the world facing bowlers they don't see too much. So it's just going to be a case of maybe have a look at the first one, get a bit of indication, and then we'll go from there.
It's a great shot there from Johan Botha.
His field set for full and straight bowling.
Oh, beautiful. The first lap, Johan Botha. All class. Superb timing for a difficult shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we say, he's cool, calm and collected under pressure. He knows where his scoring areas are. It's prompted a change in the field here. Deep square leg coming up. Third man going very fine, almost like a fly slip. Trying to protect that reverse sweep. Fine legs back, square legs up. A deep mid wicket.
Oh, it's good keeping.
It's well bowled as well. Again, just run his fingers down the ball, getting it stuck in the pitch.
So look at that lap. Oh, sorry, that was the plain miss. Oh, Christie, a good comeback from him. It's well bowled, hits his Yorker. A bit of confusion between the two fielders, and they think about 2 but don't get it.
Perfect execution of the ball to the field that they've got. They've got a deep mid-wicket, deep long on, full and straight. And just poke it out into that mid-wicket area. Getting off strike. This is the big one now. Jonathan Fu's the guy who's potentially going to target the boundaries and hit a 6. And they probably do need a 6 inside these next 2 balls.
Full delivery, well bowled. That's got to make you pleased as a Hong Kong coach, Simon?
Definitely, and again, like I said with Dan Pascoe, it's about putting these guys in these situations and
Coming back from
international cricketers, and having to execute your skills and then doing it is something that he will gain a lot of confidence from. Just got to finish strong here now.
Full toss. And is it got enough on it? No, it doesn't. Rambo to go on. Well bowled, Kyle Christie.
And that's probably going to be the over that's going to seal this victory for the Hong Kong Island United. Low full toss, gets it not quite out of the middle of the bat, and it becomes an easy, simple chance for Misbah to take catch there at extra cover. Mohammed Naveed is the next man in. Useful striker. He's had some very good innings for the UAE recently. Can hit a ball very cleanly, almost from the word go. He's not on strike though, so Jonathan Fu will be on strike. And Samuel Badri is going to come on to replace Syed Ajmal for his last over. So 42 runs needed off final 12 balls.
Gettable, Simon?
Like I said, I think that 17th over was a very, very good one for Hong Kong United, and I think that's probably sealed it for them. It's going to have, they're going to have to bowl well here, obviously.
Taking bubble drop.
There you go.
Syed Ajmal. That could be the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that dismissal has been brought about through a really good 17th over by Kyle Christie, which really piled the pressure on Jonathan Fu's. Had to really take on that shot. He's got a decent part of it. A bit of a juggling catch there, but he's successfully got it in the end.
Badri's very difficult customer to get away. He was pretty confident.
Giving up using his front arm there, isn't he? With bowling.
Celebration from Munsey. Of course, after this match, we've got another one to come with the Galaxy Gladiators Lantau against City Kai Tak. Full delivery hammered through the covers. It's not going to be enough.
They're only going to get one run here. Poor throw in the middle of the pitch. Tidied up there by Syed Ajmal.
An interesting one, that next game between City Kai Tak and Galaxy. Both teams losing their opening fixture becomes borderline must win.
Yeah, for those teams, yeah. Vital win for one of those teams. They've got to get over the line. Probably don't want to tie.
Yeah, I guess we do have super overs here, but it's hard to see losing two matches. It'll be hard to make the final.
Badri showing his experience here, firing the ball into middle and leg, not giving it any room at all. Imran Arif, who's the new batter, is just coming in, try to swing the ball over the square leg boundary, but not making contact.
All right, well, you let me know.
Naveed will try and get this over extra cover, I think. Goes.
Through that, and it does go for 4. So helps the cause a little, but
so brilliant over there by Samuel Badri. Finishes his bowling stint here today. I think him and Syed Ajmal have been outstanding. Syed Ajmal finishing 4 overs, 2 for 25. Really kind of knocked the stuffing out of the JD Jaguars run chase, which at one point looked like they're actually gonna make it. Carl Christie's gonna finish here under a little bit less pressure than he was in the last over.
Last over of the match coming up.
So Syed Ajmal and
swinging hard.
Yeah, swinging hard, but Syed Ajmal and Samuel Badri completing their combined 8 overs for 56, which is an outstanding effort.
Means they need 36 from 5 now.
It's just a bit of a swing and a miss. Just needs to try and hold his shape a little bit. Rather than hack at the ball, just hold your shape. Full face of the bat through the line of the ball. Good shot out to deep mid-wicket. George Munsey's going to come around though, cut that off. Naveed back on strike. See what he can do. Try and get the score as close as he can. You never know, net run rate could come into these sort of equations. Ball. Brilliant Yorker. Very, very good execution.
Hung Hom United and HKI United, brother.
And a pretty simple dismissal there. George Munsey taking the catch. Deep long on. Bit of a formality now. Players just waiting for the last balls to be bowled. Ninad Shah makes his way to the crease. But a pretty tame end in the end, Max, to this game. It was actually shaping up at one point where they might potentially get a little bit closer. So you got Ninad Shah coming in. In now down the order. Not renowned as a big hitter. Be interested to know where he's going to try and target this, whether he'll look to use the deflections options, trying to go over Tamir Afzal at fine leg.
Nothing we can do there, Ninad Shah.
Again, an execution outstanding again from Carl Christie. He's really stood up here and bowled really, really well.
So last ball coming up here. 182 for 8 score. Full toss driven down the ground, and that is the end of the match and victory for Hong Kong Island United. They've got home quite comfortably in the end, after, despite at one stage the Jaguars threatening with some of their dangerous middle order hitters.
Yeah, that little bit of acceleration there from Misbah Ul-Haq in the last 2 overs has really taken the Hong Kong Island team to a score that was probably slightly over par. I think we said 180, but 160 to 180 would have been about par at the halfway stage, and so just goes to show you need to complete the whole game. Can't just bowl 18 good overs.
Yeah, fantastic performance, and really, I suppose the difference in the game was that innings of 82 off 37 from Misbah Ul-Haq. That really was the difference in the end. The Jaguars just had Jonathan Thafu 77 off 47. Zakat Khan 34 of 21. But that will keep things open, so that Hong Kong Island United open up with a win in their first game. The Jaguars now have a win and a loss. I believe they'll be in action tomorrow. City Kai-Tak will have the day off tomorrow. To see the Island United fans, there's a local school that have come into the ground here today.
Great to see so many kids in the ground. Yesterday was in particular a lot of kids came into the ground. A lot of people came into the ground. It was a little bit unexpected on a Wednesday, but great to see all these kids in, and good to see the overseas players and all the franchise players really engaging in the crowd as well. Happy to sign some bats and balls and things like that, and get some selfies. It's really spreading the awareness of cricket here in Hong Kong.
And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing that stand full on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting where we're going to put everybody.
We just had to make sure it was full, ensure that we do totally sell it out. But it's been another great spectacle there in the opening match. We are going to have a post-match interview presentation shortly. Just have a quick look through the card here. Some of the standout performers. Misbah Ul-Haq 82 off 37, Munir Dar 42 off 23. That was the partnership that got them going. They were 64 for 3 after 9 overs. And then managed to... That partnership, which only lasted approximately 6 overs, netted about 80 runs.
Really, yeah, it was a little bit. It could be the turning point. It really got their momentum going towards the end, and it allowed Misbah just to keep playing. And then when he got into the kind of 18th and 19th, 20th overs, Misbah really unleashed, and certainly Ashley Caddy came in for some harsh treatment. He was deposited out the ground 4 times in the last over. And that really took Hong Kong United up to that score that is proved to be far too many for the JD Jaguars. JD Jaguars put up a spirited fight at 34 from Zakat Khan. Once he got in, it was a shame that he ended up getting out to the way he did, just caught on the long on boundary when he was just set. Kinshit Shah run out without scoring, unfortunately. Chris Carter didn't end up making too much, and Jonathan Fu striking 77 or 47 balls was really the mainstay of the JD Jaguars bowling.
All right, now we're going to hear from our man of the match, who's with Catherine Lochnan.
Yes, he hit an unbeaten 82 and captained the winning side, Hong Kong Island United, to victory. Misbah Ul-Haq, congratulations, our man of the match. Misbah, you look like you're having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it's always good to enjoy these sort of conditions. Pitch was very good and short boundaries. So, I mean, it's good for the batsman. I mean, you can enjoy your hitting, and bowlers are, I think, a bit under pump.
Did you expect the boundaries to be as short as they are, or was it a bit of a surprise?
No, we used to play even in Pakistan. Some of the grounds in club cricket are very short. I mean, in international cricket, if you play in Auckland, that's like that. I mean, straight boundaries around about 50. Only the corners, our sides are a little bit longer. So you need to be smart to just use these dimensions to your strength. So sometimes it's tricky for a bowling team or for a batsman, but I think still you need to be smart to bowl well on these pitches and utilize the bigger boundaries. And while you're batting, you need to go on the areas, on the boundaries where you can see that, okay, that boundary is smaller, so I can just cash on there.
And how relieving is it to have one win under the belt?
Yeah, it's always important because these are back-to-back games, so winning the first game is always important. So that can give us a lot of confidence, and one more victory and you might be in the final. So always first game is important and first victory is important.
Well, Misbah, all the best for the rest of the weekend, and congratulations. You certainly put on a show for us today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And we'll be returning back here for City Kai Tak versus Gladiators in the next game, in game 2 today.